A costly confrontation with a Sith cult on a jungle world. Access to a temple barred by a sinister ritual. A journey across the galaxy to the throne of gods. This reporter continued her ongoing mission to a jungle planet, where she joined Jedi and Republic officers in a dangerous battle with a Sith cult and a Mandalorian bounty hunter in front of an ancient temple. While the battle was costly, the enemy force was routed, and access to the temple was gained. After making the difficult choice to complete a terrible ritual, our party was mystically pulled across the galaxy to an audience with a being known as a Force wielder on a planet known as Mortis. Unwilling to accommodate his request to join us in exiting his world, we found ourselves pursued by a beastly dragon god, forced to accept aid from another god who inhabited the world. Accepting the god's power, a Jedi Knight called Sebastian stood against the dragon while we fled the world, leaving his fate in the hands of destiny. Now our crew, battered and tired, makes way for a final confrontation with the Sith cult, where we plan to end their reign of terror and stop them from granting the wicked Force wielder passage to our galaxy. You'll need to wish this reporter good fortune as she sticks to the heart of the action to get you the full story. This is Gom with the Jedi News Network. Until next time, may the Force be with you.
Hello everyone, welcome. I hope you can hear me, I hope you can hear everyone else. If you can't, tell me in the chat. It was working before, who knows now, sometimes it decides to change its mind at the drop of a hat. I heard some weird noise from Windows, so God only knows. Anyway, thank you for coming today. I'm pretty confident you can at least hear me, and I think you'll be able to hear my friends here in a minute. Nobody's talking, so we don't have anything to gauge it by. I hope you got the chance to hear the holovid before we started here that will tell you what was happening in our last session so you know where we're entering the story. My players will remember, I'm sure they watched the holo news, read the summary, and they'll know that we just came from the planet Mortis, where they met a Force wielder known as the Sun who was dark side aligned, and they actually left one of their companions behind to hold him off while they got to the ship. They did get to the ship. The ship entered hyperspace, and that is where we enter our story today. So, I'm going to do a little hand-wavy magical fast forward here. Don't usually start the session with that. I've liked butting them right up against each other, but we're going to do it today because it's convenient. We got a lot to get done. So back aboard the Legla, plans lurch into motion quickly. In hyperspace, fleeing what you now understand was the planet Mortis, you were able to collect yourselves and tell Min and Alori about what happened. Min orders the ship to exit hyperspace, and they recalculate the path to the fourth moon of Yavin, where the daughter told you Deditus was going to be performing the ritual. And you're all able to return to your quarters and rest and collect yourselves. After just a little while, you're summoned back to the bridge of the Legla, which you can see here.
I'm glad to see you are all mostly in good health, though I'm sorry to hear that Baz had to be left behind. While we were out of hyperspace, Ensign Raid was able to pick up some enemy comm signals. It seems that Deditus's remaining forces on Felucia were able to report the specifications of our ship and our mission back to him. They know we're coming now, and they aren't going to be fooled just because we're the Legla. That doesn't make our objective any less vital, but it does make achieving it more difficult. Since our location in the ship design is already known, I sent a message to Republic Naval Command. We received a response that the Republic is gathering intel, and we'll be able to receive a holo transmission soon. I thought you would prefer to join us on the bridge to hear what we have learned.
So you wait a little while on the bridge, and before too long, a large holo image of a woman in a decorated uniform jumps to life above the holo table. Surprised, everyone on the bridge jumps to their feet and salutes. Min and Zakan snap to attention and salute as well.
Grand Admiral Gaza.
The decorated woman says, "As you were." The mood of the bridge relaxes again at these words, and the officers return to their duties, but you can tell they're still a little bit ill at ease. And Admiral Garza says, Captain Min, I hate to drop the formality, but my time is short. I'm at a war council on Coruscant, preparing to defend against an assault on the core worlds by a massive Sith fleet. Whatever feud was holding them back before seems to have been settled. My family has served in the Republic military for thousands of years, and I can't say I ever remember a single moment in that history that things ever looked this rough. But about your mission. We've dispatched 2 of our Outer Rim spy units to Yavin 4 to assess the situation. It doesn't look good either. The cult you've been hunting and Deditus are there, and Deditus and his lieutenant are ready on the ground, preparing to perform the ritual. They have had time to form solid defenses on the ground. The situation above the planet isn't much better. They've got a Harrower-class dreadnought with a full complement. In any other situation, we'd be sending an entire fleet to ensure the success of this mission. But with the Sith fleet en route to the core, we don't even have a single ship to help you. This mission's on you. Our agents were able to get a reliable scan of the surface and assess the forces in orbit. We're transmitting the intel to you now. The 2 ships are also standing by. I'm placing them under your command, Min. They're awaiting your orders now. Our defense of the core is a joint effort, and I have someone here who would like to speak to some of your passengers. I'm glad you've gathered them on the bridge. You suspect, just based on her stature, that Grand Admiral Garza is probably a tall woman. But you can't help but see her as short when Grandmaster Tanir Forbud, the Grandmaster of the Jedi Council, steps into frame, and he stands a head and a half above her, as Powans are very tall. And he says, Master Greer, Master Zihar, Padawan Farg, good to see you are safe. I am sorry to hear about Sebastian. You were there, Master Zihar. What do you think are the chances that he survived?
I fear that the chances are low.
I see. If he met his end defending your escape on Mortis, his sacrifice will be long remembered in the archives of the Jedi Order. I fear I have very little to add to Admiral Garza's tactical analysis. I only have this to say. You must stop Deditus from summoning the sun into our reality. The Republic and our Order may already be near crumbling. If the Sith are able to bring a veritable god to their side, I fear our chances to survive will evaporate before us. Tanir's last sentence is partially disrupted by some loud background noise in the place where he is. You hear someone in the background yelling, Sir! Only those with the highest level of security clearance are permitted on the level at this time. In response to this, you hear a voice that is oddly familiar.
I am the liaison between the Jedi High Council and the Republic military, and I will not be withheld from liaising this briefing.
Tanir rubs his temple and looks the most tired you've yet to see him, which is quite a feat. Admiral Garza and I have matters we must attend to now. May the Force be with you all. And the transmission ends abruptly, and the silence hangs in the air of the bridge. After a few minutes of contemplation, Zakan and Min exchange glances, and Zakan moves over to the controls of the holotable.
Alright, this bridge is now a war room. I want all relevant intel fed into the holotable. It's time for us to make a plan.
Alright, and so you are all gathered around the holotable. Sorry while I change scenes here. Let me know if this crashes anybody's internet, because it's a lot of moving parts. Because I think we have a still image we can send anyone if it wrecks your internet. Alright. And so as Zakan sort of gathers you around the table, he says, I'm not going to lie. We're going to be exiting hyperspace in a rough position. Deditus has a Harrower-class dreadnought. Let me make sure I'm on the right layer. I am. Cool. Has a Harrower-class dreadnought, which is a mid-sized capital ship in orbit above the planet. The ship is a carrier, and we believe it is equipped with 3 squadrons of Sith interceptors and at least 1 squadron of bombers. Even with the assistance of the Republic's spy ships, we are vastly outgunned and in grave danger of being outflanked. Alori weighs in on the situation and says, "My fighter can be launched into a dogfight to break some of the fighters and bombers away from the Legla. 1 fighter against so many may not be enough, but the F4X is a good ship, and it should be able to vastly outmaneuver most of the standard issue Sith ships."
Who will pilot the F4X? I assumed you would want to join the ground assault, Master Greer.
FRDO is an excellent pilot. I see no reason why he can't fly my fighter himself. However, I think your group here should choose how to allocate forces. They are the ones achieving the primary objective here. I will go where they send me. And everyone looks expectantly across the table at all of you.
I will ping the F4X.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
My experience is on the ground. Who among us is an experienced pilot?
Not
I've done
I.
a bit of flying, but the droid should be fine.
FRDO is an excellent pilot. I do suspect that he's able to handle the situation.
Can I, learn something about FRDO?
Sure. How would you like to do that?
I would like to, let's see. Can I do a, droid programming / repair check or a technology check?
Yeah, sure. So I'm going to ask a funny little thing first, which is I'm going to ask that you roll base knowledge, and then I'll have you roll droid programming as well.
Well, this is going to go poorly, but we'll see what happens.
It's okay. This is a memory check, so it's not actually terribly difficult. All right, we've got a 4. Okay, with a 4, T-Bone doesn't remember a whole lot, but he does seem to remember that when Alori first came to the Legla a few days ago, Alori's fighter was able to enter the Legla essentially out of hyperspace, and Alori said that was because their droid was a talented astrogation droid. And and I'm going to make you roll droid programming to see what else you can figure out, but you know from that FRDO must be reasonably talented. That's not an easy thing to do. You're a ship mechanic. You know that exiting hyperspace essentially on top of another object is a difficult calculation to make. I will have you go ahead and roll droid programming, and we'll see what additionally you can figure out.
Cool, this should go a little better. That's a 18, but I got a 1 on my first die.
We're gonna negate that here. That's fine. Sometimes they don't matter. So with an 18, you've had some time where you could have seen FRDO. I'm going to assume we haven't discussed everything in downtime. T-Bone seems to be generally interested in droids, so I'm going to guess that T-Bone took a look at him. FRDO is a pretty sophisticated droid, and seems to have been geared specifically toward Alori's fighter. You've noticed that they've done very little else with Alori, and Alori's assessment that they're a good pilot, based on your other knowledge, your droid programming skills, and what you were able to examine from FRDO, you trust that FRDO is an extremely competent pilot, probably better than most human pilots. It would be far-reaching to say that FRDO is better than a Jedi pilot. That would not be a reasonable assessment, but about as good as it gets short of that.
Sounds good. Okay, so I'm going to tell the group confidently that FRDO can pilot, but if there's any sort of objectives that we would want FRDO to meet, we can plan that.
Sure. Okay. Are there other weigh-ins before the briefing continues? So Zakan says, we have a few different tactics at our disposal. We can order the spy ships who are already in orbit to perform some sort of mission before our arrival. It's risky, but we may be able to gain an advantage if we do so.
Ordering the spy ships is a dangerous strategy that may squander what little defensive help the Legla we have. It's reckless, but it might be the time for recklessness.
Gom is obviously hope to go with the reckless avenue just because it's going to be a more interesting story. So she's just going to relay that.
As long as it's effective, I won't argue with the plan.
What would you suggest we have the spy ships do?
Good question.
The spy ships have guns. Big ones.
The spy ships are equipped with weapons, though nothing that matches the power of a harrower. If they go directly against the enemy force, they will be destroyed before we arrive.
Can we ask, like, what other capabilities the ship has?
Sure. Zakan says, the ships are flown by Republic infiltrators. The agents are special agents of the Republic, and they're excellent at intelligence. They're not necessarily dedicated to being pilots. You could use them for infiltration missions. They could attempt to sneak aboard the Dreadnought and perform a task for you. They could go to the ground and attempt to neutralize an objective.
Sneaking aboard, while again reckless, seems like it could be valuable. Perhaps there's a way to neutralize a weapon.
It's certainly possible. So are you suggesting that we send one or both spy ships on a sabotage mission?
I'd say both.
What they do best, right?
Mm-hmm.
Captain, do you have much knowledge about the crew of a dreadnought?
A bit. I cannot claim to know, but I think we can assume that we are vastly outnumbered. And so the decision here is either some infiltration mission to take away from their capabilities or to save them for our own defensive capabilities.
Lori takes a long look at the table and they say, I have to chime in and agree with Min here. The risk of sending them in advance is that the Legla has very little protection from the enemy fighters during the battle. If we squander one or both of the spy ships, that's one less resource we have at our disposal if things go wrong.
I'm inclined to agree.
That said, if you come up with a very thorough plan, we might just have a shot at this.
Do we have any insight on the layout?
The Dreadnought is a pretty standard issue ship. The infiltration units will have a readout of the traditional layout, though of course defenses are movable. Troopers can be moved from any section to any other section. There is no guarantee.
Can I roll something to see if there's a weak spot or something that I might know about?
Yeah, sure. Do you have there are skills about like ship repair or ship design, right?
Yeah, I have a good score in Starship Repair. Is that
sure?
And then also there's like Starship Piloting, which I don't think is relevant here.
No, repair will be good.
Okay.
I'll trust that score.
Alrighty.
Oof.
24 with a 6.
All right, you can roll another die there.
Another 6.
You can roll another one.
I think we're in heroic territory here.
Yeah.
Ooh,
34.
34.
Dang. Okay.
This T-Bone is a ship that you remember studying in your days at the officers academy back on Coruscant when you were training to become an officer. You remember every part of the layout of this ship. You do know that a dreadnought is dangerous in a lot of ways, but perhaps the most dangerous way, in particular for the Legla, is with its bomber and fighter complement. Now, this is a little bit complicated because you would think when you send a sabotage mission that you want them to sabotage one particular weapon. You know about the security of the Dreadnought. Sabotaging its engines or its weapons would be difficult because it has a lot of redundant systems, which is to say, you take out one bank of turbo lasers, there are plenty of other turbo laser banks in other sections of the ship. In ship design, there's actually a thing called maximum redundancy, where you do the most of a thing. However, fighters are a very limited resource, at least in this case, and if a sabotage mission was able to infiltrate and either target the fighters or the bombers, or target one of the launch bays, of which there are only 3 on the outer sides of the hull, they could severely cripple the Dreadnought's ability to launch fighters and bombers. And that would aid the Legla immensely in the fight. So I hope
Got
that
it.
feels like a heroic answer. I gave you essentially
Yeah,
all the cards
definitely.
in my deck on that one.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna say that to the group. And there's only 3 launch bays, and presumably it would be challenging to move ships from one launch bay to another. Does that seem true?
Yeah, it would be incredibly difficult to move ships
Okay.
from one launch bay to another. Yes. If you
All
took
right.
out a launch bay, you would essentially be taking out the things that launch from that bay.
Excellent. Okay. It seems like it would be worthwhile to take out at least one launch bay, perhaps the bomber's launch bay. I don't know if they are all in the same bay, but if that's something that I knew, we could plan for that, or just the most convenient one to infiltrate. Are the spy ships something that might be able to do that unnoticed?
It is possible. They are infiltration units. However,
Yep.
it is a risk. They might pull up
Mhm.
and be spotted. If they get spotted before they're able to conduct their mission, the Dreadnought will rip them apart.
Absolutely.
This is like a falcon flying under the engines of the Star Destroyer, pretending to be trash out the back. That's the kind of maneuver they're going to have to pull off to make this happen.
Gotcha. Yeah.
Something casual.
Captain, it is obviously not my call to send Republic troops into danger.
And can we board the spy ships and use them to land? They're probably good at sneaking, right? And probably less likely to be seen than the Legla.
That is one thing we will need to discuss how to get you to the surface. We will not be able to use the Legla. The spy ships are one option. However, if they are destroyed in an infiltration mission, that option evaporates.
I'm trying to think of a distraction or something.
Like lure them away.
I'm wondering if Alori's fighter can cause some problems while a spy ship gets us to the surface.
That's
To
what I was
stop the-
thinking. Maybe FRDO can infiltrate the dreadnought, and we can take one of the spy ships to go to the ground.
Zakan will say, it will not be possible to use a Lori's fighter to undertake an infiltration mission. in order to launch a Loris fighter, we will need to already be in the system. At the point that the Legla enters orbit, we will already have shown our hand. They will know that we are there. Our only advantage with the spy ships is that they do not currently know that the spy ships are present above the world.
You can certainly use FRDO and the fighter to draw forces away defensively, engage with the enemy, and draw that away from the Legla itself.
Very true. However, if you plan to take out one of the fighter bays, that will most definitely need to happen before the Legla enters the fight. So, did you want to opt to use the spy ships to infiltrate a hangar, or have you preferred to move away from that plan?
Is there any sort of like hacking we can do of the ship to make it think there's like another enemy? Yeah, that we can like distract it so that the spy ship can infiltrate, or is that like 2-101?
I will feed this information as information that happens in T-Bone's mind based on the previous 34, which is it is possible to enter the computer systems of the Dreadnought, and a Republic infiltrator might be able to do something like that. But that is certainly a riskier plan than taking out a fighter bay, because the infiltration unit will have to go much further into the ship, and their opportunities to extract are much lower. So, just tactically speaking, one of the spy ships might be able to sneak up on the Dreadnought, enter the hangar, set explosive charges, exit the same hangar, detonate the explosive charges, and get away. You might accomplish both destroying the launch bay and retain control of the spy ship for the fight. However, if you send them in to get to the computer, they will have to enter, hack the computer, find their way all the way back to the exit undetected. No one will be able to see the spy ships, which are not small, while they're in the Dreadnought. Like, while the spy ship is docked with the Dreadnought. It is possible it might be a much more consequential strategy if you could confuse the Harrowers or the Dreadnought's sensors, but it is a far less likely operation to succeed.
So no.
We can also continue walking through some of the options, and if you decide to change where you want certain assets, as you know, kind of all of the available options.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah, for sure. So Alori will say, I did some readings on the Legla specifications. It's one of the Sith's destroyer-class cruisers, isn't it? Equipped with a massive front-facing railgun that packs quite a punch, from what I can tell.
Yes, that is true. It's actually why there isn't a viewport. It takes up the entire front section of the ship. But using it there is quite risky. It pulls power from all of the other ship's systems. It will leave the Legla unshielded, and without a turbo laser cover for at least 30 seconds. That's enough time for the whole ship to be destroyed if that Dreadnought can react quickly enough.
It is an incredibly risky strategy, but if we did fire it successfully, it could very well knock the Dreadnought out of the fight entirely.
Is there a way that we could pull out of hyperspace in a location that they're not expecting?
They will catch you on sensors wherever you enter. That does not mean that there can't be a tactical entry. If you have some particular angle or strategy you would like to attempt, that is plausible to propose. However, the Legla is not a small ship, and it will not be able to hide once it exits hyperspace.
Oh, so you're saying, like, you could send the capital ship to distract, and then the other ships can jump in another location?
Or, like, we can exit hyperspace on the opposite side of the planet, and I know we're maybe wasting time, but I don't know if there's a way that we could approach the ship from a direction where having the shield off for 30 seconds is more okay. If there's like a directionality to the dreadnought.
Yeah, the dreadnought has very few blind spots in its fire radius. You may be able to maneuver someplace like behind the engines and get a clean shot. It is still risky. It may make the maneuver less risky, but there's certainly no guarantees in this game, I guess.
Sure.
Being unshielded in Star Wars is equivalent to death.
Yeah.
But we've also talked about a lot of potential distractions. So if you guys see a path forward where it involves using something else as a distraction while you prepare that, yeah, a lot of different combinations of things.
Okay.
Okay. So, Zakan will say, "So, do you think we should prepare the railgun, or should we forego its use in this battle?" As a meta point, all of these choices can be changed at the end when we go over the whole plan. So I probably should have started with that. It's worth kind of making a choice, and then once the whole plan comes together, deciding if there's any part of it that you're like, oh, that actually sounds bad now that I hear it all together.
That seems too risky.
All right, fair enough. Another element of the assault that you have already considered is that we must consider how to convey the ground assault teams to the surface. As we've discussed, landing the Legla with the dreadnought in orbit would be suicide. We could use some of the spy ships to transport you, but that leaves the Legla at risk early in the battle. We can't maneuver the ship with another ship docked to our hull. Lori says, "We can take escape pods to the surface. I hate to leave you without all of the pods, seeing as there aren't enough for the crew to begin with. But I think doing our best to ensure you don't need the escape pods is more in your interest."
Master Greer, if we launch anything, the dreadnought is likely to fire on it to ensure it doesn't reach the surface.
I can shield one pod on the way down, or we can launch the other pods as decoys. With all due respect, Master Greer, I'm not sure if that makes for the best plan. I think I'd rather take my chances being a sitting duck for a few seconds than lose our crew's only chance to survive if something goes wrong up here.
This also gets back into, I guess, the whether or not you use the spy ships. So if you wanted to use them for a distraction, or if you wanted to use them to help get people back to the down to the surface, kind of a choose point here.
My instinct is to use one for sabotage and one for transport. And perhaps the Jedi in the group can help shield the ship on the way.
I agree with that.
All right.
Gom's just going to ask if there's any like cameras on the infiltrators so they can take footage that she can use.
Zakan is going to look at you very puzzled and a little bit miffed and say, "The infiltrators do have reconnaissance devices. However, I'm not sure much of it is newsworthy."
Well, that's my job, not yours. So thank you very much. I'll determine that.
He'll look back at you but say nothing else.
I guess to overview, the tentative decision we have now is, of course, FRDO piloting Alori's fighter, and then the idea to use a spy ship as transport to the surface, and then the other one as either a distraction or defensive, whatever you choose for it, near the Legla. And then all the escape pods on the Legla will stay on the Legla.
Yes.
Zakan says, "There's only one viable landing site in the vicinity of Deditus's forces. You can see it marked here with the blue arrows. Half of this map is devoted to land, half of it is devoted to space, as you can see. They have, from what the spies turned up, it seems clear that the enemy is aware of this. They have stationed forces at the end of both valley pathways, prepared to defend the ruins. On the left side, they have a squadron of troopers which has set up a barricade and weapons emplacement. On the other, Deditus's lieutenant is stationed with a group of Sith apprentices. Deditus himself is in the ruins already, with several other Sith masters, making final preparations for the ritual.
The Legla has a small security team that would be best deployed on the surface. They are seasoned Marines, but they may not be tactically fit to stand against the apprentices. I would recommend sending them to face the squadron of troopers. It's a more even match.
Lori says, "There's nothing on this holotable that any of us is prepared for, but wherever you send the legless team, you should commit a strong leader to their group. I would happily guide the team along either trench, but if you believe that I would be of more use with you or in my fighter, I think Sakan or Min make excellent choices as well. I see very little reason to deprive the Legla of her captain in this crucial moment, but I must say, I've never seen a fighter that matches what Captain Min can do with a sword." I also have tokens for all of you and the 3 options of other people down here as well. Also, I don't know that I said this. Y'all can move anything that's yours. So if you want to move the Legla around at all at any point in this, or the spy ships, or Alori's fighter, or yourselves, or any of the officers, feel free. You can notably only move your token, but those are the only tokens restricted to you are the player tokens. The other ones are all movable for you, for all of you.
So I guess I have a tactical question. Why do we need to attack both ground forces? Why not just overwhelm one?
If we choose to only go along one trench, the other trench will be able to commit its forces, potentially behind us, flanking us in the trench from both sides.
Flash. I think you would make a good leader for the Marines.
Sure, I can do that.
On a meta level, doing that, which I'm comfortable with, will end up with Flash being resolved as part of a luck roll, not in Flash getting to fight in a battle. I mean, Flash as a character will fight in a battle, but it will happen mostly off-screen, most likely.
Okay.
Yeah. Perhaps the con.
That may be best.
Okay. And then I think Min has one more point.
Once you're on the ground, we can commit some ships providing air support in your battle on the surface. But I caution you that we are already outgunned here, and if we overcommit to the surface, we risk losing the battle up here. If the Legla is destroyed, the Dreadnought will be free to fire on the surface, and your ground assault will become infinitely more difficult. So, based on all of the assets you have, whether or not you think that some of the air support should also support the ground forces is kind of a question.
Does the spy ships have exterior guns?
They do, yes.
Okay. So what if we took one of the ships to the ground? We could potentially get into the trench and use the exterior guns to turn the tide a little bit outside.
One of the spy ships could certainly join one of your trench runs to provide air support. However, I am a little bit concerned that we leave the Legla exposed without both of them in space. The enemy has approximately 15 fighters and 3 bombers coming at the Legla. We have, in response, 2 spy ships and 1 fighter.
It seems as though The ship should stay with the Legla.
Seems like all three need to stay up here. We need to disable the dreadnought somehow before getting to the ground. So at least we need to figure out part one plan, like part A plan, in space before considering going to the trenches.
Let me go over the plan as I understand it so far. Then we can make some modifications. By the way, meta note, if this accent is making it difficult to understand, this speech is very important. I will drop it. Does anyone need the accent not to happen for the... Okay, cool. So imagine that this happens in Sakan's accent for me, please, but I'll do it without. So he's going to say, the plan as I understand it so far is that at the beginning of the fight, before we arrive, one of the spy ships will infiltrate the Dreadnought and attempt to sabotage one of its launch bays, attempting to prioritize where the bombers are. As we enter the system, FRDO will man Alori's fighter and launch, and one spy ship will dock to the hull of the Legla to take the security team of Marines, as well as your party, down to the surface. I, Zakan, will lead the team of Marines down one of the trenches. Out of curiosity, which trench did you want your group to go down? And which one did you want me and the Marines to go down?
What were the differences between the two again?
I think we were going to take the Sith and their apprentice, and the troopers.
Yeah.
The troopers.
All right.
That's the one on the right, I think.
That seems advisable to me, yes. So you can place your tokens over in the trench by the Sith if you want. I think I neglected to have a token for the Marines, but we can put Zakan in that trench so that it's clear. And the Marines will be there with him as well. Where were you planning on sending Master Greer?
He's coming with us.
All right.
Yes.
So, a question. After the spy ship, if they successfully sabotage, will they be able to leave safely, or is there another chance of them getting blown up as they're leaving?
It is a risk either way. There is a chance they will be able to escape successfully. A much higher chance if you decide some external sabotage, like destroying one of the launch bays, than if you opt for an internal sabotage, like attempting to hack the sensors. It will be much more difficult for them to escape in that case.
Are there higher chances to escape if we're the ones, if someone in the party is on that spy ship that's doing the sabotage?
It would be incredibly difficult to attempt any sort of sabotage mission after the Legla has entered the atmosphere, because you've sort of revealed your hand at this point. The advantage that the spy ships have in being able to infiltrate is based on the idea that the Dreadnought currently does not know they're there.
And they're already there, so that's why.
So anyway, so Alori will join you in the other trench. The Legla will not use the railgun in the assault. One spy ship will convey you to the surface, but then return to the battle in space to assist the Legla. And from there on out, all of the ships in the fleet will be committed to the space battle. Does that plan sound correct based on what you relayed?
Yes.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. Do you wish to make any modifications to the plan?
So Callow's going to offer a suggestion where he's like, what if we put Max Coleman in an escape pod and jettison him while we try to infiltrate the surface as a distraction?
Sakan will look at you and say, what would the objective be?
To get them to shoot the escape pod while we go down at the same time.
Out of curiosity, what would be the benefit to putting the prisoner in?
Don't they know if it's empty or not?
They may scan for life, but it's far more likely they will just shoot at anything that comes out of the Legla. They are not low on ammunition.
Could we launch just some, trash?
But we do not
As
want
a
to lose any pods.
Yeah.
You could launch trash, but that will probably not confuse them. It does not look like an escape pod. They will probably be like, why has the Legla decided this moment to take a shit? Did this seem like a great idea? Okay. Are there any other modifications to the plan?
Or any questions, or any other sort of fun suggestions.
Yeah.
What is Max Coolman doing right now? Is he unconscious? Or
He is a prisoner. Nobody has checked on him this session, but presumably he's awake at this point.
He's been poked at a few times.
Yeah.
the only thing I was thinking is, should we use him in some way to convey to the what's the name of the ship? The Dreadnought. Like convey like, oh, I've captured everyone or something. Like, how can we use him to be like a decoy almost kind of thing? We don't have to, but we should use him. I don't know.
I think making any type of communication, again, would probably suggest something about your position. But if you did want to communicate, or have Max communicate through the Legla's capabilities, that's an option, I think.
Got it.
But again, it's like holding a bit of a megaphone out there, like, hey, I'm right here, and we have your friend.
Right.
I think the Sith might think he's a little more expendable than anything.
Can we get any info from him?
Yeah, I was gonna say, can we ask him what he knows, if anything?
You can definitely speak to him after the briefing if you would like, and you can make choices at that point. I will say the only choice that's locked in at the end of this briefing is if you are sending a spy ship on an infiltration mission, Min will order the spy ship to do that now. So that will not be revocable. Any other decision, you can change. So yeah, you're welcome to speak with him. Are you happy with that plan as it stands then? Just very quickly, not even like pretending to be Zakan, the plan is one ship will be sent on an infiltration mission in advance. Are they still targeting a hangar, prioritizing the bomber hangar if possible?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The other spy ship will dock with the Legla upon entry. Alori's fighter will launch with FRDO piloting it. The railgun will not be used. There's going to be no real attempt made to sneak up on the Dreadnought because it's unnecessary without the use of the railgun. One spy ship after docking will convey you and the Marines to the surface. Zakan will lead the Marines in the trench against the troopers. You all will stand with Alori against the Sith apprentices and Deditus's Lieutenant Lilikoi. And after the spy ship drops you off, it will return to the Legla to assist in the battle. Does that all sound right?
Yes.
And there are no escape shenanigans currently planned, but you have the option to change that after speaking with after speaking to Max, if you would like.
Well, maybe it depends on what Max says. But no.
Is there any benefit in having, like, some of the people who man the spy ships, like transfer some people to one of them, and that's the one that goes to do the sabotage?
The spy ships only have 2 infiltrators on each ship, and they're both required to pilot the ship.
Understood. Okay, cool. All good. Never mind.
That was clever, though. I don't want to... All right.
I am up for piloting a spy ship on the way down if that helps the Legla in any way. But yeah,
I'm trying to think if the logistics of that are possible, because if they drop you off...
well, I would probably just continue that.
Oh, you would keep flying the spy ship.
Yeah.
I think that's certainly a possibility. What would you want the other infiltrator to do? Just join the infiltration mission at the beginning? Leave one of the spy ships, like... I'm going to say one of the infiltrators piloting the spy ship alone can probably dock with the Legla, which will commit an additional infiltrator to the cause of bombing the bomber hangar. However, it will take you out of the fight, which is significant on the ground assault as well.
Yeah. Okay, probably not then.
Okay.
Will it speed up or will it increase the success of the hangar?
Committing an additional infiltrator would increase the chances of success. Naturally, having an additional hand means that they can set the charges faster, just logistically. Like, I'm not even going to make you roll for that. It just makes sense that 3 people with explosives can scatter them around a hangar much quicker than 2 people with explosives. Perhaps approximately at 1.5 times the speed, right?
Sure. Okay, cool. So I might look to Flash to see if I can tell what he's thinking about that.
I do have a question aside before that. Is for the spy ship, how does the gunner work? Is it like a gunner spot, or is it just like the co-pilot shoots, or
the co-pilot shoots? There's not a separate gunner. They're like auto turrets.
Okay. So I'm guessing Starship Gunnery doesn't really help that much if it's an auto turret.
Say that again, sorry.
Does Starship Gunnery help that much then, or?
It might help a little. I mean, I'm going to admit pretty openly that we're not resolving the space battle turn by turn. Nobody's fighting that. That will be resolved off screen.
Okay.
So I will take your character's skill into account if you choose to man one of the ships, but it will not get direct rolls.
So I would tell T-Bone it's probably best that we all stay together on the ground, even though it helps to commit one infiltrator, it would mean we lose you on the ground, which would make it a lot harder.
Fair enough. Okay, I'm gonna listen Flash.
All right. So right before the briefing sort of comes to a close, the holotable extinguishes. But before you leave the bridge, Min stops for a look at you all for maybe the last time. She is going to be coordinating a bunch of things whenever the Legla exits hyperspace.
T-Bone, Flash, Master Jedi, and Gom, good luck down there. We're depending on you.
We'll do our best.
Thank you, Captain. You too.
Callow goes in for a hug, thinking it's a hug situation.
I think Min would allow that, yeah.
After seeing that, I want one too.
Min will kind of roll her eyes and shuffle like, all right, now we're all lining up for hugs, but she'll allow it.
Dom's gonna give Min her recording of what happened, the most recent events, and just ask if Min can get that off to the JNN while she goes on this next adventure.
I will probably pass this to one of my associates in communications or technology, but rest assured, I'll keep it in my care.
Thank you so much.
All right, excellent. So as you all walk away from the briefing, as you're leaving, your personal comm link lights up, and it has a text communication on it that is unknown in origin, and it simply says, "I can make getting to Deditus much easier. Call me securely from a private place."
Can I tell when I came in?
It came in just now.
Oh, okay. Okay. I guess I kind of look around for a secure communications port.
Where are you going, Mir? Where are you going?
I have to answer something. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
Do not worry.
All right, so you get to a secure communications port. You make a call to the origin of the message. The hollow illuminates. I gotta move everybody back to the Legla. I'm sorry. I'm slacking on my GM duties. I only notice when it becomes necessary to be on the right map that I'm not on the right map. The hollow illuminates, showing a vibrant Mickean woman that you can see on the screen now. And she has 2 lightsabers clipped to her belt.
It's been a long time since I've set eyes on a temple guard. I'm glad you called. I have a deal for you. If my senses have not betrayed me, you're holding a man prisoner who is one of my apprentices, correct? If you bring him to me at these encrypted coordinates, I will order my troops to stand down. You can deal with Deditus, and Max and my other apprentices will escape with me. And I'm not sure how far Deditus's network of spies span, but I hope we can keep this plan between us. I need the rest of your assault to unfold however you've planned. We'll only manage to pull this off if no one on my side notices anything is amiss. And I hope you're stealthy, but considerate.
My face is completely blank. I'm just thinking as a response, so give me a moment. If I may ask, why do you need for the rest of our plan to unfold?
I have no idea what your plans are, but to me, the fact that no one knows that this deal is going on is important. And so if it seems like nothing's amiss, we can make this exchange and be on our ways.
Why is this apprentice so important to you?
Surely you've met him. He carries himself with extreme dignity and has proven himself in the trenches. Compared to some of my other apprentices, he was someone I was considering to put up for promotion. I could even trade you one of my other apprentices for Max. He is in particular important, but I would want to sort of have him back to partner with me.
How will we know that we can keep your promise if we do this?
You'll see me there. I can send you some encrypted coordinates that no one else knows the location to, and you have it sort of on my honor. We'll make the trade. We can put space between us, have a mediator.
Can I note just really quickly that Gom is trying to sneak to see what's going on in this conversation, just as an aside.
Sorry. Sure, we can do a contested roll. I believe there is a sneak skill. Is that right? I don't know my handy cheat sheet here. There is a sneak skill, and there is a search skill. So I will let Gom roll search, and Nier can roll sneak. Unless Nier is just like, I don't care if I get caught, then I guess they don't have to roll sneak. But
so what I would do?
Sneak, which is under perception, if you don't have anything special in it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
13.
Okay, so you are able to, you sort of like nose around after Nier, and you find them hovering over a hollow of a Mickean woman with 2 lightsabers clasped to her belt.
I'm just gonna start recording.
Are you going to reveal yourself?
No,
Okay.
not yet.
And I don't notice this.
I'm gonna say that just for the sake of time, we'll resolve that with the same roll, so no.
Okay. I am going to say I do not deal with the Sith and just hang up.
All right.
And then Gom's just gonna say, "You tell him."
All right. So.
And I just confidently walk out, and I notice Gom like. I should have known you wouldn't leave it. By the way, that recording will not be.
Yep. Gom hands it over.
We're gonna hang it up. Edit that out.
Okay.
And I return to the group.
All right. So, we have just a tiny sliver of downtime here before you go. So if you have last actions you want to perform aboard the Legla, let me know what they are now, and we'll resolve those, and then you'll enter the battlefield.
I'd like to ask Chef Becca to take care of Domi's body in case I don't come back.
So she says, "Of course I will, dear. I would I've lost my French accent. You're going to have to forgive me. I would love... It's coming out Italian. It's Italian all the way down. I can't. I would love to take care of your little friend for you." Still not right. All right, anyway, she's happy to do it. I'm going to fail the accent. I'm not going to stick the landing. I've done 2 of them already. We tried our best. It didn't happen. Yes, she's more than willing to take care of Domi for you. She's honored, and she offers you a big hug with all 4 arms.
Great. I will definitely give her a hug. And then after that, if I have any time, I would just like to go to the engine room and see if there's anything I can do to make sure everything's working well and running smoothly.
Yeah, go ahead and roll Starship Repair, and we will take a look. All right, what we got here? All right, normal
19.
Things. Okay, cool. Things are they're normal. Everything is operating within specifications. So, yeah. Okay. Did anyone else want to do anything?
Callow's gonna inspect his trove of stolen Sith lightsabers and see if they are usable, and potentially fix if he can.
So I believe you have 3 of them in addition to yours, or 2? Okay, so we have Max's?
I have 3. Yeah.
Okay, so Max's and the Collarin Apprentice, I believe, is the one that you took. They both work. You saw them work.
Okay.
And nothing happened in between that and when you got them, so you can ignite them. You don't know about the last one that you stole from the Sith tomb. You can attempt to activate it if you would like.
I will do that.
Okay. So roll strength.
9.
All right. So you activate it. It sparks and like flashes and like flies out of your hands. Fortunately, you don't get hurt. You sort of have the reaction at the last second to toss the saber away from you, and it Fortunately, based on what you know of Kyber, things can go a lot worse. Those things can, like, explode. But it does not seem to be in good working order, and I personally would recommend not trying to activate it again.
2 questions. Was Kalo doing it out in the open? And if so, was it a Sith Saber that he activated?
So, Callow can answer the first question. I will field the second one.
So Callow would do it in like a confined space that's a little bit away from people. But they're all Sith Sabers.
So you're hiding it from your master?
Are you nosing around near? Because we can do another sneak versus search contest. Here.
I imagine this probably happened around the same time with the communication thing. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. What we can say is you come back to your quarters after you've done the secure communication, and you find Callow there, behaving himself, as Padawans do. There's like a burnt section of the floor in the middle of your quarters, and Callow is alone in them.
I look at him like, what did he do?
Callow says he was inspecting the lightsabers he took, and one of them kind of exploded. And he thinks it might make a good bomb if if we could bring it to something.
Need to be careful around these Sith Sabers. They cannot be trusted. Although you got some good ideas about using one of them in the bomb.
Yeah. It's like,
Intriguing.
well, Callow is gonna say like we have limited resources, and lightsabers are one of the most powerful things out there. So he's looking for solutions.
Fair enough. We have to be creative in this time of war.
If there's time, Callow's gonna look for T-Bone and ask if he can make a bomb out of that broken lightsaber in the Kyber crystal. and just like it made a big explosion type thing. I think it can do more.
What is T-Bone's response to that request?
Awesome.
Do you have demolition skill, right, T-Bone? Or it exists, I believe.
Yeah, 5D.
Give me a demolitions check. We'll see what you can do.
All right, I might spend a character point on this. Yeah, I think I am going to spend a character point. Hang on one second. Oh, okay.
Oh.
Ooh, okay.
14.
You think there's probably a way that you could make a bomb using the Kyber crystal, but you do not have enough time. Like, you can't come up with a quick plan to do it, unfortunately. So.
Follow, I think this could happen, but I don't know. For the next 10 minutes of hyperspace.
Okay. Callow's a little sad and just was like, okay, thank you.
But maybe later.
Is there anything else to resolve before the Legla comes out of hyperspace? Alright. Cool. So... Oh my god, I have so many things to resolve. First of all, Zakan is going to gather you all in the hangar of the Legla to prepare to board the spy ship. He has the Marines there. I am trying to think. T-Bone, this was mostly your plan, so I'm going to have you roll the luck roll. There's no special dice here, no monkey business. Just roll me 1d6 as a luck die.
5.
Alright, so as you get to the hangar, Zakan says, the spy ship that you sent on the mission to destroy the hangar was able to infiltrate and destroy the bomber's hangar. However, unfortunately, as they exited the hangar, they were discovered and destroyed. They had to detonate the explosives in the hangar bay. However, the Dreadnought will not be able to launch its bombers. Alright.
T-Bone is a little somber for a second.
Was the footage also destroyed, or did that make it?
Zakan looks over at you and just says,
My God.
"The Republic, the lives of 2 Republic officers who were loyal to the point of death were lost, and you ask about the newsreel?"
I'm just as interested in both, but I did have to ask. It is part of my job.
I'm afraid that the recordings would have been destroyed. We do not have the ships live transmit the data, as they are infiltration units, and that can compromise them. However, the other spy ship may have a reading of what happened. You may be able to ask when we board if they are able to give you some sort of recording of the incident.
I'll take that alternative. Thank you.
All right. And with that, we are going to move on to the landing. So the Legla jumps out of hyperspace. You feel that like shift as it lurches back into regular space. Within seconds, you hear like the noises of docking clamps as the spy ship locks onto the hull. There's no time wasted before you hear the docking clamps. You and the security team quickly clamber into a very cramped cargo bay. This was not made for, I think you have 13 people. Could be wrong. Not going to count now. It was not made for 13 people, but you do fit. The flight to the surface is rapid. It feels like dropping. You hear the sounds of blaster fire in the sky as the battle ignites. Shots clearly aimed at your ship whiz around you outside. The ship sways back and forth. The Republic infiltrator seems to be a pretty good pilot, as you don't hear any of the shots make contact. You arrive at the surface and exit the cargo bay quickly, and you allow the spy ship to begin its return to the battle above. It is... Let me move us over. It is night on Yavin. But even in the dark, you see that the world around you is vibrant and lush. At the landing site, which is not on this map, but you'll have approached this map eventually. I thought I'd give you a view of the scenery at least. As you hit the landing site, you hear some brush rustling behind you. And you're a little bit frightened for a minute, but right as you sort of get frightened, a small creature scurries out of the brush and looks at you all, and then seems frightened and runs back into the brush. T-Bone, you do recognize the creature. It is a raccoon.
Oh my God, yes. I'm gonna like punch Cowlo and be like, "Did you see that?"
Did I see that? I'm gonna assume Cal was able to see that. He's like, yeah, I think I saw that.
You all
That
saw
was
it,
a
yeah. It was
Okay.
very loud. There was a moment of tension where you sort of jumped at it.
It was a raccoon.
It was like, I look nothing like that. It's like a third of my size.
Yeah, but like if you scaled it up, like if it, I don't know, ate a lot of protein and or something, that you would look pretty similar. Anyway, I think that's a blessing.
Okay. I was like, if we make it out of this, I'm gonna go catch one after this, just so we can like compare.
They make for good friends.
Okay.
Great. So this conversation sort of wraps up. Near, can you make me a luck roll with 1d6? No critical roll shenanigans, just 1d6. And you're not going to find out what happens, but I'm going to know, and I'll tell you later.
That's so mean. 6.
All right.
Ooh.
Perfect. All right. Actually, in that case, nothing happens at all. So you won't hear about it later. You can find out what the luck roll was for later and why I had you roll it at the end of the session if you're curious. But anyway, as the spy ship lands and sort of heads back up, you're able to look up into the sky and you see the space battle. You watch Alori's fighter launch out of the hull. The Legla launches into battle. Fighters pour out like a cloud from the dreadnought. There are no bombers among them. That's the good thing. But the fighter squadrons are able to get free, and they start flocking toward the Legla. Alori's fighter flies out and starts engaging them. It's much more maneuverable than the fighters. While it doesn't seem like it's probably going to be able to win against 15 of them, it's certainly taking their time while the Legla is able to fire on them and try to keep its distance from the dreadnought. For the time being, the Legla is safe, Alori's fighter is safe, and the spy ship is going to be returning to the battle. However, the Legla has not managed to gain any ground in the early part of the fight. Nothing so far of the enemies has been destroyed, aside from the bomber bay, which was already done before the fight began. So you set off down your chosen path, which is to the right here. Still not on the map yet, but just so you know where you're going. You hear a loud chanting ring out across the valley, and the ruins illuminate in the distance where you know Deditus is, with a sickly green light. An ominous atmosphere grips the landscape. The Jedi feel queasy, dark side nonsense. Before you've traveled more than a few meters, the fabric of space seems to tear in front of you, and there's an opening in the form of a glowing red portal that pulses with a sickening light. The Jedi among you feel the same dark presence that you felt on Mortis mere days before, and a humanoid silhouette suddenly appears in the portal, preparing to step through. I'm assuming you all ready your weapons. The figure reaches the aperture of the portal and steps into the world.
Oh, shit.
Ah, you are too late. I have taken over this body and returned.
So before you stands Sebastian.
Hello. Hi, guys.
And just as the portal starts to shrink...
Just kidding.
What a prestige! Just as the portal begins to shrink, the small green bird that you've seen a few times flies out and lands on Sebastian's shoulder, so you can see Sebastian.
I pet it.
And let me see if I can be. And Morai standing there. And in fact, I told no one about Morai before this, including Sebastian. So at this point, I will be sharing a little note with you all that you can see on your screen, and that will tell you the things that Morai can do, which should be useful to you. So Morai is going to start out with Sebastian here. And yeah, I'll let you all talk now. I'm sorry. I just needed to finish the narration.
No, that was great. It was well timed.
So what planet are we on?
Sorry, is Sebastian still Sebastian, or did the evil guy take over his body?
No, I was just messing with you.
Oh, okay.
Maybe it's an insight check of some kind. Like, just like I'm stunned, and like I told the captain, like, you know, like I didn't think that Sebastian survived. So, can I do like an insight just to see if he was telling the truth or not?
Yeah. Do you want to roll like? I'll give you two options. You can roll like a knowledge skill to see if you think this is possible, or you can roll some sort of perception skill. You can pick investigation or search if you would like to see what you see in front of you. Either one is okay, just whichever avenue your character is kind of taking.
I'll do a search.
Sure.
I'll do a search. Okay. Not great.
I'm still pointing my blaster at him.
6.
Okay, so you feel pretty confident this is probably him. Do you have a? I wasn't smart. I'm sorry. Do you have dice and sense?
Do I have what?
Dice in the
In sense? I do, actually. I have 2.
Can you throw those out as well? I'm going to say you can reach out with the force as well as what you can see before you.
Like, see if I can sense the force in him.
Yeah.
How does this work again?
You
It's
have
just
2D in sense?
You can just roll the 2D flat.
Yeah.
So it's just 2 dice, right? There's no wild dice for this one.
There is a wild die, yeah. You can roll a wild die along with it, and if you get a
Oh,
6,
I see.
you can...
Okay. Oh, I see. Not great. I rolled a 2 on the wild die, then 3, so 5.
Okay, so we've got an 11 total. You reach out with the force. It is not difficult to tell that this is, like, your companion. It certainly does not feel at all like the sun, and you were experienced with him on Mortis. So
Good.
You feel like if this were a trick, it's a pretty elaborate trick.
How did you survive?
Well, I did the ritual, and then I beat up the dragon. And now I'm here.
Did
Wherever here is. What planet are we on?
Did the light wielder help you?
Yes, that was part of the ritual. I was helped.
Callow's gonna say we're on the planet of the raccoons.
We're on Yavin.
I see. Okay. Thank you.
I sort of, after feeling like this is definitely him, I sort of give a brief, like, here's what's going on.
Sure. So you summarize what's going on. I don't know. Have you been watching, Jonathan, out of curiosity? Because if you haven't, I will make a real
I've been
summary.
listening,
Okay.
yes. It's fine.
I was like, if you've been listening, it would be pointless to actually summarize it. But if you haven't been, we will. Here is actually the opportune time, I think, to take a quick break, if that's all right with all of you. Sorry, Jonathan. I know that's super rude. You enter and we take a break. But they've been going at it for an hour and a half. So we'll take a quick break and we will be back in... Is it okay if we do 5 minutes? Is that cool? I need a restroom break, honestly, so that's what we're doing. If worse comes to worse, if this runs a little bit long, we can do another 5-minute break. So I think it's probably better if we do 5 minutes so we have time for another break. Cool. So stream, we'll be back in a second. Thanks for hanging out with us.
It works. I don't have a camera.
Oh, yeah, no worries. I am going to maybe make a quick adjustment, though, because... Hello, everyone. We're back on stream. Sorry, I'm quickly adjusting the roll feature so that it displays correctly. I hope, anyway, because I noticed earlier that was not working correctly. So, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. I don't know why I'm acting like this is the intro to the stream. We were here 5 minutes ago. This is not surprising. I'm stalling for time because I decided to transition before I was ready.
I did have a question.
Yeah, go for it.
So, is Sebastian invulnerable?
Roll knowledge for me.
I don't like this question.
Okay. Which this general knowledge? Or
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
okay.
Unless you have.
I mean, they're all the same for me. So.
Yeah. I don't see anything that is compelling for what I'm asking about anyway.
Okay, 15.
You can roll another d6 because you got a crit there.
That's slash R d6, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
That's not bad. It doesn't hurt you.
Okay.
If you get a crit, things only add. So you're adding a small amount instead of a lot, but it doesn't harm you in any way, just to be clear. So you get a 16. You don't know a whole lot about the Force as a special ops trooper, but you suspect from your many... I think you've been in the Special Forces for many years, right?
Yes.
Okay. So from your many years experienced as Special Forces, your general rule that has managed to be tried and true through your whole life is if it breathes, it bleeds. If it bleeds, it dies. So you suspect that nothing that breathes is invulnerable. Whether that's true or not, or whether that's just the basis of your knowledge.
I was also more curious from the meta standpoint, where like if you use Guardian Immortus on someone, can Sebastian be injured during the process?
Well, you can't know for sure. You suspect that someone else, that like if that anyone is fair game to be injured here.
Okay.
Sebastian is notably like in the same body you last saw him in. There might be some glowing effects that have since entered the arena, but it's not like he's come out a robot or a ghost.
LEDs.
All right.
Is he part Domi now?
Tune in next time to
Gamer
find
now.
out. All right. So you are going down your trench. It will be on the left side here. Can I have everyone place their tokens in the bottom 2 rows here, either on the path or adjacent to the path? I'm going to reveal an Alori and a Morai token.
Bottom left or bottom right?
Bottom right.
Where am I?
Once we get everybody out there, well, as we get everyone out there, what is your general tactic for approaching the clearing where you know Lilikoi and the Sith apprentices are? I don't want to play it up too much because it will take a lot of time, but if you just give me a general idea of how you approach, are you just like walking loudly down the path like come and fuck with us, or are you like, whatever? What is the method?
Sneaking.
I want to climb in the trees.
Okay. So if Callow specifically wants to climb in the trees, give me a climbing check. I'm going to say these trees are substantial. They're like trees in our world. It would be possible, but just like trees in our world, climbing them isn't going to be easy.
Can I use force jump?
You may roll for force jump. Yes.
Yay! That's the new power I took. I just wanted to use it.
Sure.
Okay. Control and alter.
Let me flip into my grand book of force powers. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Throw your control roll first. Let me know what it is. All right. And
19.
then throw your alter roll.
16.
Okay, cool. And you will get plus 3d to your climbing check for this then. So you can roll climbing plus 3d to get into the trees.
All right. Oh,
Right.
25.
You're able to adeptly get up into the trees, and you will. You have done this securely enough that you. So Callow like force jumps, propels himself with the force silently into the trees, being quite stealthy, and you will be able to climb along those branches anywhere in that section of trees, until you hop down, without any further need to roll.
Yay!
So yeah. The rest of you, are you sneaking through the trees, sneaking along the path? What's the goal?
I'm gonna sneak like sort of at the edge of the trees, and try to stay a little bit behind the Jedi, just so that I can like shoot as a surprise, I guess.
Sure.
So I see that Morai has surveyed the battlefield skill.
Mm-hmm.
Can we send her like ahead to do that?
Yeah, I'm good with doing that. You can go ahead and dispatch her for that. You will have to wait 2 rounds, but we're not acting in rounds, so that's just like a little bit of time that you're standing in the trees, if you're okay with that. 2
Yeah,
rounds
that's
is
fine.
not very long. It's like 12 seconds. Morai is going to like fly up and come back down.
So I'm just wondering about the trees. Like on the left side, are they connected up the ledge, or that's like a
No, the
okay.
ledge is pretty high up, actually.
Okay.
And there aren't trees along all of it, so you will not be able to climb up there using that. If you want to make an additional jump, if you want to get on that plateau, I will say it's about 4 meters above the trees, so we can do the jumping difficulty for that if you would like. So you want to jump up on that little plateau? Sure.
Yeah, sure. Oh, like from like the street up to there.
Yeah. Sure. Go ahead and roll me jumping +4 or +3D.
Nope.
Okay. So you're able to jump up there. You can put your token on this. That does not mean you'll be able to get up here. It's actually like several more meters above. Am I on that? No, I'm on a layer that you can't see. You're up on this platform. It does not mean you'll be able to get up here. Now I'm pinging where you can see. Sorry about that.
Okay.
Because that will be an additional jump, which is much closer to the action. So if you want to make that now, you don't know what's going to happen. Morai comes back to Sebastian. The way that this happens is Morai lands on your shoulder, and you sort of see flashes of images of the world around you. You see that Lilikoi is standing pretty overtly in the... Now I gotta get back on the other layer, sorry. You see Lilikoi is standing here sort of at the entrance of the clearing, not making much attempt to hide herself. Morai spotted some rustling in the trees around, but was not able to see any of the apprentices, but you suspect that they're hiding around the clearing, which is what most people would do in a defensive position.
Okay. I relay to everyone who's near me that there's a weird green lady in the center of the clearing, whose name I do not know.
So, yeah, so as you approach, I will let one of you roll stealth for everybody if you would like. And I will contest that against something else. So if you want to tell me who is your designated stealther, you will all follow that person into hiding around the trees.
Is that hide/sneak or?
Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
I have 5D in that, so I'm pretty decent.
Yeah, that might be the good one then.
All right.
Okay.
So Gom is going to lead everybody into battle in an unexpected turn of events.
Try to sneak when you're trying to get the hot scoop.
Yeah, maybe I'm just like interested because what I recognize that this is the person that spoke to Nier, so I'm kind of like, what's the deal?
Yeah.
I'm like right behind her.
Yep.
That's a good roll.
All right. So you do manage to stealthily infiltrate. What I'll say this means in this context, you will be able to get first act in combat if you would like, and you can position yourselves anywhere outside of the clearing. If you enter the clearing, there's no amount of stealth that's going to help you, but anywhere in the trees, over here, you can all position yourselves now.
If you were doing stuff, I couldn't see it.
Me either.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
I'm so
I can see
sorry.
the
I hop back and forth.
Fine.
Yeah, anywhere,
I see.
essentially anywhere around the clearing that's connected to the bottom part. You can't sneak up here because that would require going out in the opening, but any other section of trees around the clearing. Callow,
Can
however, you can sneak up to here if you would like, because there's tree cover there. Or position yourself back here at your discretion.
Before I move too much up there, can I use sense life?
You can, yes.
Well, sorry, life detection.
Yeah. That is a sense skill, yeah?
Yep. Ooh, crit.
Ooh, nice. Roll again. You can roll again.
Woo!
Okay.
Jesus.
Nice.
All right.
25? Did I do the math right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you sense that there are 2 apprentices, one here and one hiding behind the crates here. I will swap over to the lair and reveal their tokens. However, I'm going to have to ask for a little movie magic. The rest of you do not know that those people are there exactly. Though you do know they're apprentices around the clearing, so I'm not like, they're going to surprise you that they exist, but you don't know exactly where they are, where Callow does. However, Callow has become fairly separated from you, so I do not think he is able to communicate this information without compromising himself in some way. Let me... Morai can now be controlled by anyone, and Alori should be able to too. Someone can test that out if they want, but you all can sort of move them as a group. I will act for Alori's combat, but for their positioning in the beginning, unless someone wants to act for Alori's combat, but it's a little bit complicated, and I don't think I have a sheet in Roll20, so it doesn't make the most sense. You can give them an idea of what you want them to do, though. I'm not like trying to take over your combat by having them here. So anyway, yeah, as you approach the clearing and you get here, Lilikoi is going to reach out to a person who is beside her here and grab his shoulder.
Oh, classic. Too good to make a deal instead of potentially saving yourself some trouble. Instead of potentially making an ally that knows all of Deditus's motives and weaknesses. You moral Jedi. Really take the time to pretend you're all high and mighty. No matter. Pawns are pawns. Max or someone else, you're all just my toys to play with.
Well, she doesn't seem very nice.
And Lilikoi lets out some like quiet chanting, and you see the man that she's gripped the shoulder of fall limp beside her.
Wonderful.
And he falls to the ground, and suddenly, even in the brush over here, the Lilikoi's target, Nier, gets surrounded by green smoke. Lilikoi gets taken up in a cloud of green smoke, and the 2 of them reappear at the top of this plateau.
So Lilikoi is going to address Nier. I remember the walls of the Jedi Temple, the rules, temperate disposition, training against instinct, being selfless and guiding innocent Padawans, maybe like the one you have, to righteousness, training yourself against attachment to those very Padawans you instill wisdom to, which I'm sure you must be spectacular at. Underneath it all, the Jedi are hypocrites, picking and choosing what rules to follow. I remember every slight deviation tracked and accounted for by the Temple Guard, and now a guard stands before me, mine alone to judge and sentence.
Can I try jumping on the platform?
Sorry, not yet. Maybe,
Okay.
but not at the moment. And as Lilikoi says that, she ignites her lightsabers and prepares for a fight.
I say nothing and just ignite my double-sided yellow saber.
And you can glance up here at the top to see this scene unfold. All right, and I would have you roll initiative here, but you have already succeeded in making sure that you got the upper hand in the battle. So Gom is the person who acts first. She can decide whether your team will act first or second in this combat encounter.
First.
Sure. And that means Gom will act first.
Okay. So these Okay, so the one person that she touched is like, do we
Dead.
think? Okay.
Dead is a
All right.
doorknob.
Can I see this other individual down here? Or
You
can I
can't
see?
see anyone. You know that they're hidden in the brush. If you want, you can take an action to search. So you could declare 2 actions, search to see if you can see people in the brush, and then take a shot if you can find someone. Or you can wait for them to reveal themselves. You could move closer. Potentially you could see them even without searching if you moved closer. Those are kind of your options here. As soon as someone... Unless... Well... So... Yeah. I'm not going to say anything.
Okay. I will then take 2 actions, which I'll have to remember how that works, but I will search first.
Sure.
And then attack.
If you search and attack, I'll do a quick cheat and say you can do them at the same time, even though you still have to operate with the multi-action penalty. So in this case, that will remove your last dice and make you get a 13. Let me roll the contest. They are going to try to hide from you. You've got a 13. All right. This... Always on the wrong layer. This one is revealed to you for sure. The other one is not. So you are able to see an apprentice hiding behind these crates over here. And you will still be operating with the multi-action penalty, but I will let you, if you want to take a shot at them, do that at this point.
Yep, I'll do that with my blaster.
Sure.
And
so let's do it's precisely at this moment that I realize this page is not set up correctly yet again. Just give me a moment and then we'll measure it.
Sounds good.
Sorry. What is the range on your blaster for short range?
3 to 10.
All right, so this is going to be medium range then.
Yep.
So it will be a medium difficulty to hit. You can roll blaster. If you just use the roll 20 thing, we'll just subtract the last die, the last listed die from it as your multi-action penalty.
Okay.
So in that case, that makes this an 8. The shot goes wide. You hit the crates in front of the apprentice. Nothing happens to them. Flash, it is your turn to act. I'm going to say at the point that Gom has fired on an apprentice, you're able to suss out their location without a search.
Okay.
So everyone can know where they are.
I was about to ask that, yeah.
And Flash, how many actions would you like to declare?
I'll do 1.
Sure.
Can you see the battle going up on the plateau up there, or is that just sort of?
You can see it, yes. So if you wanted to take a shot at Lilikoi, it is a possibility.
I know every time I've shot a Sith, it ends up with 0 damage. It's just out of sheer luck. Yeah, I'm gonna try to shoot the Sith. That was shot at Reese already. Okay.
Okay.
Let's see. So I'd roll blaster, which
Yes.
sheet. There's the sheet. Okay.
All right. Yeah, you're able to hit that apprentice, so you can roll for damage.
The chances it will be 0. I finally hit something.
I need to just move this sheet in front of me. That will make more sense. It's been too long since I've done D6. All right. That apprentice falls backwards, incapacitated. So they are not dead, but they are out of the fight for now. Always the wrong tool every single time. Put an X over them.
Are they at the point where you have to have someone like have the other person like heal them, or are they at the point where they're just like knocked out?
Yeah, they would have to be stabilized to re-enter the fight. So you got a cheeky shot off here at the beginning. All right, and then it is Callow's turn. Callow, how many actions are you declaring?
I can move and do one action, right?
Yes.
Or if I just move along the treetops?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna just do one. So
you can move half your move, by the way, 5 spaces, and do an action. If you move your full move, that will count as an action.
2, 3, 4, 5. I am gonna force push her off the cliff.
All right, so you're on trees, which are the map is not drawn well. Well, did you actually jump into the trees up on the? I thought you just jumped onto the plateau.
Oh, I was trying to jump into the trees, but I guess wasn't clear.
That's fair. I don't want to go back and say you didn't do it if I said you did do it before, just because I didn't understand you. But you will not be able to jump from those trees onto the cliff that Nier and Lilakoi are on. You will have to make an additional jump, which will count as an action. And from that angle in particular, there's no chance that you can force push Lilakoi because you're on a cliff beneath. You've essentially like occluded your vision of what's above. I will let you redo that action because of that, because that's like the map not communicating a clear point, which is on me.
Okay. Let's see. Do I want to do another action? Can I do both? If I do that, let's see.
You can take 2 actions. You can attempt to jump up on the cliff and then force push. Those will not happen at the same time. You'll get the force push when we come back round to you. But they will happen this turn.
Okay, let's see. Alter. Okay, I'll try jumping up on there then. I will, from here, jump there.
So you'll roll that with a 1d penalty, which I think is then jump plus 3 in this case. If you're going to plan to do a second thing.
Yeah. So do I still have force jump?
Yeah, that's why I said your jump plus 3d instead of 4d. Because that's what you got, right? You got plus 3d total, right? So plus 2d.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Alright, so jump.
And this is going to be... Sorry.
Alright. Oh, I got a crit on the first one.
Okay, you can roll another d6 then.
Very good at jumping today.
Oh.
Okay.
Well, you got 2. That was good.
Okay. So you are able to jump up there. For the record, it was really hairy, but 3 crits in a row. Can't deny that action. So you get up there, and so Callow, Nier, I'm going to suspect that you're not entirely aware immediately, like where you are after you get teleported. So you're at the top of this plateau, facing down Lilakoi, and you hear like a thump beside you, and you just notice that like Callow has propelled himself down to stand next to you, and I'm going to take a liberty, though Callow can tell me if I'm wrong. I assume he activates his lightsaber and sort of readies next to you.
If I can act, I'm just sort of like put my hand out, sort of like, just to stop him, and I say, "Watch."
Okay.
That is an appropriate free action, so that's totally good. You'll get a full action in a moment as well before he gets to do anything else. All right, and then it will be Sebastian's turn. So the way Morai works, if it wasn't clear from the way that I wrote it out, Morai will act at the beginning of the turn of whoever has her. And whoever has her can make the final decision on what she gets dispatched to do. She obviously starts with Sebastian because she came out to assist him. But if Sebastian sends her to protect someone else, she can't be used twice in the same turn. That's illegitimate. You can't send her down the initiative order, send Morai to Nier and then let Nier send her to T-Bone. What happens if you send Morai to Nier is that at the beginning of Nier's next turn, Morai gets dispatched again. So that is the deal. You can also still send her to surveil the battlefield, which might give you some sort of an advantage in another arena that you can't currently see from where you are. So that is your first call, and then you'll decide on your turn. But the first thing you do is decide what Morai does.
Okay. I'm going to send Morai to Nier for Guardian of Mortis.
Sure. So Morai will move up to Nier, providing them with plus 1d damage protection from all sources, and Morai will get to be moved again at the beginning of Nier's next turn. Not what's about to happen in a minute, but at the beginning of the next turn. Then Sebastian, how many actions would you like to declare here?
Well, first I have a question. Does that green smoke, would I know if that counts as the sun's influence?
So the smoke is coming out, but the sun's influence has not fallen over anyone that you've seen.
Okay, cool. I will take one action then.
Sure.
One second. 2, 3. So I'm going to move up here, and then I will use the elusiveness of the daughter on Nier and Callow.
Okay. You do have to cast it on yourself as well. It is self-targeted.
Oh, I
plus
do have to
additional
do it? Okay.
targets. Yeah.
Then I'll do it on all three of us.
Okay. So I think I know what the difficulty of that is. It's a control roll, right?
Yep.
Okay.
And I can see both of them, right?
Yes.
Like they're both visible?
Yeah.
Okay.
From where you are, you can see them. So that's what, very easy plus 4? Is that
plus 3 for each additional target.
plus 6. Very easy plus 6. Okay. Cool.
Let's get 16.
All right, that is able to succeed. So all three of you have an additional +2 to dodge, parry, and melee parry reaction rolls, I think. So if you react, you get a +2 for the next 3 rounds. I hate to tell you to keep track of that yourselves, but I have a limited number of paper space in front of me, so please, Nier, Callow, and Sebastian, remember that you have a +2 to all of your reactions for the next 3 rounds of combat.
Yeah.
That's right? That's what I wrote, Sebastian?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dodge, parry, brawling parry, and lightsaber parry.
Cool. Perfect.
+2 for 3 rounds.
Yeah. And that's not +2d, to be clear, just +2.
No, just +2.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That is Sebastian's whole turn. So, Nier, it is your turn to act. How many actions are you declaring?
1. So basically, we should put on top of this plateau, and sort of like a face-off, Western style with our lifesavers ignited. I didn't say anything at first. Just gathering my wits and the force to me. As I sort of grip my lightsaber, I say, no one alone can be judge and sentencer. I'm sorry that the Jedi teachings have failed you. They are guidelines, and the light guides us to a righteous path. You have lost your path. I am here to guide that light back. Whether I can or not, we shall succeed. And I run forward and I'm assuming I can make it and take a swipe at her.
Yeah, absolutely. You're basically right next to her already, so you only need to move 1 space, and then you can roll lightsaber to hit her if that's what you would like.
Yeah. So I'm going to take a strong action. Let me get all my D6s. Okay, that is... Ooh! Rolled 6 to my wild die.
Woo!
Okay, math. I can definitely do this.
It's a lot of dice. I'm doing this.
Yes, it's a lot of dice. I have 9. 30.
Ooh. This is like a fateful Star Wars interaction because you got a crit, she got a crit, so she pulls her sabers up to parry you. Nier comes in to slam the front of the double-bladed lightsaber down, and that classic Star Wars moment, Lilikoi throws both of hers up, crosses them in front of her face, and they slash, and they make that crackle of saber against saber. So Lilikoi successfully parries this time, but it is a battle you can tell is very evenly matched. So there's that sizzling on top of the mountain. It rings out across both sides of the valley. Classic Star Wars action. All right, and then T-Bone, it is your turn to act.
Great. I'm going to declare 2 actions. The first is that I'm just going to, sprint towards the hill.
Sure. So a sprint is double the movement for, I think, an easy run check.
Okay.
So you'll make a run check with a 1d disadvantage if you're trying to move and act at the same time. And I'm going to do the thing where I cheat, where if all you're doing is running and taking the action, I'll let you do them both at once, because that seems nicer than, like, you run and then wait until you're back at the top.
And run is it dexterity or strength?
Running is strength, I believe. It's somewhere on my sheet. Oh, no, running is dex. Sorry, stamina is strength, but we're going to do running.
Uh-oh. Okay. I don't know that this will go well. I got a 2.
All right. So in this case, can you show me the path you sort of plan to run along? Where was your target destination, I guess, if you just pinged?
I was going to run as much as I could near, just towards the hill.
Okay.
So with no thinking along the way, really.
Spaces in that direction.
Okay.
But then you'll sort of slide on the ground, lose control. I will not make you fall prone, but you will forfeit your other action. I guess I'll let you choose. You either fall prone or forfeit your other action this round.
I'll fall.
Okay. So if you fall prone, you will be able to shoot from the ground, but getting up will be an action. So,
okay.
But if your plan is to shoot from the ground, I think it's clever to fall prone instead of losing the other action.
Great. Yeah, that's the plan.
Cool. Perfect. All right. Go ahead. Sorry. Yeah.
So should I still do my next one?
Yeah. I forgot that I said you could do them both at the same time, but you can. That's
okay.
Cool. That's my.
No worries. I'm gonna try to shoot whoever Nier is in battle with.
Sure.
Which seems a little crazy, and I would like to. I don't know if this is possible, but I would like to skew towards failure if it means I don't shoot Nier.
Okay, so you want to take a wider shot, and in exchange, you're willing for it to be more difficult in exchange for failure to mean you miss both of them instead of you accidentally hit Nier. Sure, yes. I'm willing to do a called shot and just say if you miss the difficulty of the called shot, that means that you, hit neither of them.
Okay.
But I'm going to make the called shot a little bit extra difficult because of that, because you're making sure that you miss in one direction. So with a 1D penalty, you will roll Blaster, and I will calculate the difficulty. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay, and then I might use a character point here, and I have a Blaster Carbine. It's 3 to 25 /50 /250.
Okay, just a second. I'm going to run the distance formula because
sure.
you're
Cool.
14.
Thank you.
I finally get to do it. Wait, I messed it up. Perfect. It's 11 meters away, 12 meters in height difference. 0, 14, no, 11. 16 meters away. Is that still in short range? I'm sorry, I've forgotten already.
It is, yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yep.
So yeah, it's a short range check, plus the difficulty for hitting a called shot. Yeah, so I know what the difficulty is now. You can roll and decide if you would like to add a character point.
Cool. I would.
Sure.
Oh, man. Okay, so I got a 15 total.
Just barely misses.
Dang.
So I'm doing math in my head to make sure that I got it right because it was close enough to matter. So it whizzes behind Lilikoi. You do successfully not hit near because that was the condition of the situation, is that it would be a much harder blaster shot because of that.
Great.
But yeah, things proceed. Then we are up to the top of the initiative order for their side. So Lilikoi will look at you, Near. I don't know if she has anything to say. I'll allow her to talk, and then I'll act on combat.
Yeah. Oh, Lily always has something to say. She's going to respond. The light side is no more a teacher than a restraint. If you think you can guide me to anything, you'll have to guide my life force to its end. Only the strong can ascend the need to rely on the light side, and you're just holding yourself back.
This is like so classic Star Wars. And Lilikoi is going to raise her big saber to take a slash at you, Near. Are you going to attempt to parry?
Yes.
Okay. So you'll roll that parry with just a 1d disadvantage since it's your second reaction, though Lilikoi is rolling her attack with a 1d disadvantage because it's her second action in this round as well.
So this is my reaction, right?
Yeah. So you get
+2.
you get +2 at the end of it. Like you'll get a +2 modifier.
So this would be a melee parry.
Lightsaber. You can roll lightsaber in response to this.
Just regular lightsaber.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lightsaber and lightsaber parry are the same skill.
Okay. I did not know that. Okay, so and then since that a disadvantage, that means -1 dice.
Yes. So I think you have 9 in lightsaber. Is that right?
Yep.
So you'll roll 8. Yeah.
Yep. Okay. Let me just move this out of the way. Oof. Okay. Let's see. Whoa. 24.
All right, it hits. Roll damage for me.
Whoa. I definitely have control of all my dice. Here we go.
Did you add the 2?
Oh, wait. No, wait. I'm bad. No. My mind totally phased out. Near won the roll. Lily is the one attacking, which means Near's parry is successful. I'm sorry. My mind rewinded for a second and thought Near was attacking, and I was like, oh, Near beat the parry roll. No, Near successfully parried the attack roll. I'm very sorry. Point is, I think it's better to do it that way than the other way, to tell you won and then be like, oh, wait, no, you lost. Actually, I told you lost. Sorry, you actually won. So Near throws up that saber. It crackles. Near, you feel like you pulse with a sudden sense of power. And you feel like a little bit extra capable of parrying. Lily's big saber comes down on your blade, and it does another crackle as you sort of throw up the other end to deflect the blow. And more of that classic saber smashing saber action. Okay, and then that's the end of Lily's turn. And this... Ooh. Alright, I promised I wouldn't be nice today. I meant it. I am going to reveal the last apprentice because I'm eventually going to do that anyway, even though it's not their turn. For my own sake. And then I'm going to go back to the right layer and I'm going to be on it the rest of the time. This apprentice is going to run out to T-Bone. And let's see, which one are they? Yeah, so they are going to roll to attack T-Bone. T-Bone, would you like to... You can, if you have a melee weapon, you can attempt to melee parry. If you want to attempt brawling parry, you'll do it with a 2D disadvantage since you've acted twice this turn already. Or you can allow the standard difficulty to govern whether or not it hits.
Yikes. I will do a brawling parry.
Alright.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
Make sure.
With a 2D disadvantage?
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Oh no.
no.
Oh.
Wait.
Jeez.
Wait.
It didn't... You'll have to type 2d6.
That didn't roll.
So that was the
2d6.
real roll.
Okay. Oh, thank goodness.
I was like, that's two snake eyes.
Yeah.
That is a lot of failure.
Oh, okay.
There we go.
7.
Okay. I hate to be the one to break it to you, but someone is swinging a lightsaber at you and you're on the ground. So the lightsaber connects and you will roll strength with no disadvantage because this is just to like tank the damage. Strength plus energy damage resistance. And I'm going to roll damage. So if you have
What is energy?
Do you have armor that gives you any damage resistance? Okay.
I don't.
So it will just be strength.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, I got a crit.
Okay. Yeah, you can roll that again then.
Oh my gosh. Another crit.
The heroism of it all.
Oh my god.
It's ridiculous.
What is happening?
The rolls are on our side.
They are. Fate. Okay, so that's, oh boy. 28, 31? Is that real?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's like heroic strength.
Would you like to describe how you managed to take no damage from a lightsaber that connects with you, or would you like me to, T-Bone? Your call.
Oh my gosh. Maybe, okay, how about this? I have a bunch of weird bits of mechanical parts in my pockets at all times. And he swings sort of overhead and comes into contact with my vest that's just filled with trash.
Alright. So a lot of trash gets destroyed. T-Bone might even lose his vest here. I'm thinking T-Bone loses his vest. So if this happens again, you're going to have another flashy explanation prepared.
Okay.
In case you roll another 31 on 4 dice. But, alright. No damage gets done that day. That apprentice is done acting. This apprentice is the last one to act. They're going to start by running. So I'm going to roll a running check for them. Okay, they meet that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And they are going to... Let me see which kind they are. Yeah. They're gonna... They ignite a red double-bladed lightsaber, and they make to slash at Sebastian. So, would you like to parry Sebastian? I think that's a brawling parry for you, with a 1d disadvantage, because you only acted once, I believe, right?
Yep, I only acted once.
Okay, yeah, so... One of these days I'll keep my dice on the table.
That would be 15.
Alright, and you get a +2 to that, right? So it's 17?
That's with plus
That's
2.
with the +2. Okay, does hit then, so you can roll to resist damage.
Oh, actually, I forgot to add a +2 just from the skill, so it is 17.
It still hits.
Okay. Fair.
But I didn't want to forget for the future. Because if I forget once, I'll forget then forevermore. Then it will matter and I'll have forgotten.
And that is a 10 to resist.
Alright. Okay. Where is my... Oof. Alright, Sebastian, you are wounded twice. So the Sith comes up with the double-bladed lightsaber. Sebastian moves up to block it with his fists. He miscalculates where the Sith is coming in with the lightsaber, slashes him in the side so that he has a small gash. So you will fall prone and you'll have a 2d disadvantage until healed. And then we're back up at the top of the initiative order, so it will be Gom's turn.
Okay, I will just take a few steps forward and go for the apprentice that was trying to kill T-Bone.
Sure. So just one action, right? To be clear?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
And that'll be my blaster.
Okay, that is within short range, so that meets without much trouble. You can roll for damage.
Okay.
Okay. They fall to the ground, and they are going to be wounded. So the shot hits on the shoulder, blasts the Sith back. They don't manage to parry it with their lightsaber. The lightsaber sort of falls out of their hand at the side and deactivates. But they are sitting there breathing, and you have a strong feeling they plan to get back up. Yeah. Let me see if I can find an appropriate marker so I remember who they are. This will be fine. It's weird, but it will do. Okay, and then Flash, it is your turn. How many actions would you like to declare?
I think I'll do one again.
Okay.
Try to attack the Sith that was going up to Sebastian.
Sure.
Okay. Which means I will roll my blaster. And it's
Alright.
short range.
That's gonna hit. So you can roll damage.
Oof.
Wow. Alright, so you do manage to connect with that. He does not fall to the ground, but he seems a little out of sorts.
So it's like stunned, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
I like the snail
snail.
icon. That's fun. Alright, and then Callow, it is your turn to act. How many actions would you like to declare?
One.
Okay.
How do I use a force point again?
So if you use a force point, all of your rolls for the entire round will be doubled.
Oh, okay.
Double the number of dice, not double the total.
Okay. Actually, then I'll do 2 actions and use this force point.
Sure. So on your first action, you will take a 1 die disadvantage and then double the result of that. So what are you doing first, for instance?
First, I want to move to the side, and then I'm going to try to use my lightsaber and attack her.
Okay. So you'll roll your lightsaber minus 1d, then times 2. So what do you have in lightsaber, just so I can make sure that
I have 7. I have 8. So minus 1 would be 7. Times 2 is 14.
Yeah, so roll a 14 to hit. She is going to make a reaction and try to parry. We'll see if she's feeling lucky today.
Oh wait, did I get a crit too?
Yeah, looks like yes. So you can roll another d6.
Do I do? Aw, okay. I got 54.
All right, you do hit. So you'll roll damage. Damage is normal. It suffers neither a penalty for being multi-action nor an advantage for the force point. So damage is normal. Alright. And I have to roll these. Alright. So you slam your saber into Lilikoi with like a ferocity fitting of the Sith Lord you may one day become. Lilikoi like flashes up her smaller saber to try to deflect, miscalculates. You manage to get a swipe in and graze her on the side. And while she does not fall down, she does seem just a bit out of phase. So yeah. And then we will return to your second action later. And then it will be Sebastian's turn. So Sebastian, how many actions would you like to declare?
The guy that's next to me, when he got shot, did he fall prone too?
He did not fall prone. No.
So he's still standing up?
Yeah.
Okay. Can I kick him in the leg?
Sure.
Cool.
So I will have that made as a brawling check. You do have a 2D disadvantage. Is that appropriate, or did you have something else you wanted to use for the kick?
No, yeah, that's brawling.
Okay. You will roll at a 2D disadvantage for being wounded.
Yep.
And yeah, I mean he'll try to parry, but we'll see how he does.
Does he get a disadvantage because he's stunned, or?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's 20 to hit.
All right, you managed to hit. You can roll damage. Damage is not encumbered by your wounded status, obviously. Right.
$18 damage.
Yeah. So, curiously, we come to maybe an interesting character moment for you. If I'm not, what was the damage? Sorry.
18.
Yeah. So, your kick manages to have a little more force than you expected. And he falls to the ground, smashes his head against the dirt temple floor, and because he was stunned, he was very easily taken off his guard. He seems to be like at peril for dying. He is beyond incapacitated. He's like bleeding onto the ground. So yeah.
Well, that took him out quickly.
Ow. That was a pretty forceful kick.
Apparently.
Hilariously,
It's one of
because you
those-
haven't activated Bakuni's hand, you can't do the thing where you stun him automatically, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So, yeah. Interesting character moment for you. You may have just killed somebody. Alright. And then
Finish him.
it is Nier's turn. So, first thing, Nier, Morai acts first. So you get to decide what Morai does. Whether you keep her with you to protect you, dispatch her to protect someone else, or send her to scout the battlefield. Those are your three choices. And then it will be your turn. I'm not taking a turn from you, just Morai first.
Just looking at her powers again.
Sure.
Let's see. I think I want... How many are dead right now? There's just one remaining, it seems. If I just glance over, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna send Morai to T-Bone.
Sure.
And have her do the Guardian of Mortis.
Sure. So Morai soars down the mountain to like swoop down next to T-Bone on the ground. And then you will act near. So how many actions are you declaring, first of all?
One. But I finally get to say my response back to
Yeah.
just waiting. But first I see my Padawan just going into the fray. I'm like saying, you do not know the word watch, but good for you for finding the moment. I say good, Padawan. And I turn to Lilo, Koi, Kai, whatever. And I'm going to say, the light bolsters us. It is not the source of power. The dark side is an enticing lie that steals the basis of who you were. It is never worth it, regardless of your beliefs. I know I'm not meant to save you. It would be hubris to say so. You were one Jedi. Some part remains. Regardless, your deceit and ritual ends this day. And I go in for another swipe with the lightsaber.
Drag her ass!
I'm going to beat her ass into the ground. Actually, I'm going to use a force point. And yeah, I'm just going to use the force point on my lightsaber attack.
Sure.
So that means it's doubled, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, okay. 4. I'm glad I do that. Okay.
This game has such a ridiculous amount of dice after you use a force point. She's like, excuse me while I roll my 75 dice over here. Never mind.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I have to do this math.
No worries. It takes me a while when I use a force point as well.
14, 15.
We've already been doing this whole time.
So I can just double it instead of rolling again, right?
Yeah, that's fine. For time's sake, that's reasonable.
Yeah, it's just a time saver. So I got a 24, so that would be 48.
Alright, that hits, so you can roll damage.
Great. So the damage is not doubled, right?
No, it's regular. However, I think if you crit, you still crit, right?
That is true. Let's hope. Okay. Move out of the way. Oh, I did crit! Alright. Okay, I can definitely math this. 12, 13, 14 plus 6. 22. Oh, crit again! 8. Oh, I almost critted. 8, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33. 33 damage.
You can call it under the stipulation she has to be dead at the end.
I think I will basically attack her to the point that she's 1 inch from death, but she's still hanging on there, and I'm not quite I feel like I can know the line where one crosses over, and I just held her there.
So with the amount of damage you did, because this is an active combat situation, she has to die.
Oh, then I let her.
Okay. Do you want to tell how that action happens? What does it look like as Nier comes in with her double-bladed lightsaber? Or as Nier comes in with their double-bladed lightsaber?
Yeah, so I see that Kahlo down on the side of her. I sort of approach and I run to her and I basically body check Kahlo out of the way. And midair, I swing my double saber blade several times, slicing her from the shoulder down.
All right. Here ends our philosophical dialogue for the day.
Can Lily get one more philosophical point out there?
She can have dying words. I'm good with that.
Yeah, so Lily, in her true wonderful and spiteful nature as dying words, will kind of sputter and cough and visibly, die. Before doing so, she's going to say, "Look at the power of friendship. No such thing as a fair test of strength anymore."
Ouch. Okay. All right, and then it moves to T-Bone. So, T-Bone, how many actions are you declaring?
Just one. And I would like to wrestle the guy, the apprentice who attacked me and who is now on the ground. And maybe this is 2 actions, but I would also like to either throw or kick the apprentice's lightsaber just out of arm's reach.
I will let you do both as the same action with an added difficulty, if that's okay. So he's going to get plus 1d in his Brawling Parry. That's the way that I'll parse it. And you'll use Brawling against him.
Sounds good.
So he's what? Wounded twice?
Or once? Uncertain.
Yeah, I think, yeah.
I got a 15.
Yeah. So T-Bone jumps on top of him, sort of from the ground, like rolls over to grapple with him. The first thing T-Bone does is sort of like look for that lightsaber hold. He finds it with his foot and kicks that saber across the battlefield. And then I assume you're like throwing a punch, or what does this look like? You're trying to do some damage to him, right? What exactly is T-Bone doing?
Yeah, maybe a headbutt.
Alright, so T-Bone slams his head down into the Sith apprentice. Just for the sake of simplicity, I hope you don't mind me calling this one. But it slams against his head. The Sith apprentice gets dazed, and his head falls back sideways. He is still breathing, but he is incapacitated. So, yeah. And with that, you all will exit initiative. I'm sorry for not acting with a Lori, but I don't think you actually needed them, so... I didn't actually mean to leave them out of the fight. I just got distracted.
Oh, look, Lori's here.
I was like, halfway through, I was like, wait a minute.
Let's assume that they did many and various cool things. And aided in the battle immensely. Maybe they were back there doing battle meditation. That's what we'll say. We'll retcon it. They were doing battle meditation, which is why your rolls were so great. Because Lori was back there meditating for you. Nier and Callow, you can take a glance down into the other trench if you would like.
Yeah, I do so. I was going to ask about that, like that little artillery thing, and if I could disable it, if there's someone there or something. I don't know how much I can see.
Well, let's talk about the success of the let's talk about what's going on first. So over here, I promised myself I wouldn't have to move back to layers, but so as you glance down here, there's a battle actively in motion. Zakan, I don't have tokens for the entire security team, but let me move the stream over here too. Zakan is facing pretty heavy resistance from this gun emplacement. However, Zakan is a trained fighter, and just as you glance over, you notice that like several of the Sith troopers up on this platform is dead. There is still one behind the gun actively firing, but just as you look over, you see Zakan sort of hops out from behind one of the trees and yells to the rest of the security team, "Fire in the hole!" and like pitches a detonator over the wall. The detonator explodes and like rends the platform in half. There's not really a need for you to intervene in this case, because Zakan has managed to succeed in winning the battle with minimal losses, and nothing remains to bar all of you from going together into the ruins.
Sorry. So I had another action with that force point. Could I roll to steal the lightsabers without Nier noticing?
Yeah, I'm down for that. So you can roll a double on your sneak, contested by Nier rolling a perception. But you do take the 1 die disadvantage before the sneak gets doubled.
Okay.
I'm doing perception.
Yes.
These are fancy custom lightsabers as well. They've got some cool charms on them.
Ooh.
13.
Oh! So Callow bends down to snatch the sabers. Nier is looking down at what's happening with Zakan on the other side of the mountain, and sees the thermal detonator go off, is sort of watching, and they suddenly hear like a clicking noise from behind them. And they turn around to see their apprentice lifting the two lightsabers off Lilikoi. The evidence is very damning. They literally turn around as you have your hands on the lightsabers on her belt.
I just give him a look.
Cal was like, they could be useful later.
What did this count? 4?
This would be 4 and 5 because she has 2.
Disable it.
Okay. Can I disable it, or is it just?
You can, let's say that lightsabers have a safety for the purpose of
Okay.
this, so you can throw the safeties on them if you want.
Okay.
We are turning the youth in to the council.
Yes, master. that was the look I imagined too.
And as sort of both sides of the battle quiet down and you prepare yourselves to head to the ruins, T-Bone, your communicator goes off.
Before we go in, can I use a med pack to like uninjure me?
I think you can make an attempt. Yes. Yeah, we can do that first. That's fine. So you can make an attempt to heal. Yeah, but you're using your own healing skill for this, right?
Unless someone else wants to take my med pack and do it for me.
I was just going to say you're still wounded twice, yes?
Yeah.
Okay, so
Which
you'll
is
roll
fine.
with a 2d disadvantage.
Yeah, unless someone else wants to take a
Okay,
med
who
pack.
here has the high one? I have a 3.
What, Nolly? What is
Medicine?
it?
Not
Medicine?
you.
Yeah, not me. Not the potential Stith.
Oh, wait. I can do that probably.
What the check?
Yeah, let me help.
It would be first aid, I guess,
Medicine?
Yeah, medicine.
or medicine.
Yeah.
I'll do it. Yeah.
Happy
Oh
roll.
wow, dope.
Oh, nice. And a crit.
Cool.
Okay. 23.
All right. You are able to stabilize Sebastian, though I do believe Sebastian is not the only one injured. I believe. Wait, are you injured as well? Were you wounded twice? Yeah.
T-Bone? No.
Okay. T-Bone
trash
was just
against
prone
T-Bone.
from the running fall, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
They managed to
T-Bone
not
was
take
a-
damage from the. Yeah. Sorry.
Mhm.
My
T-Bone
memory.
never took any damage.
Yep.
No.
You're right. That was wild.
Yeah.
We can
Must have been a Lori.
We can we can take a quick 5-minute break here if that's good with
What do we do
folks.
with the two that are on the ground that are still kind of alive?
Before we do, the guy I kicked that is in critical condition, can I attempt to use another med pack to stabilize that person as well?
You
now that I'm
can.
healed?
Yes.
Cool. $13.
They die while you're trying to heal them.
Oh no. Okay. Well, shit. I'm gonna give myself a dark side point.
Sure.
Oh.
Oh.
What?
I thought we weren't doing dark side points, but
I
can.
I can do it just for roleplay.
Oh, okay.
That's why I was like, sure.
Not for mechanics.
Because it's like if I were, I would a couple.
Every time you stole a lightsaber,
It's
you'd have
flavor at this point.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just for flavor.
Okay.
Some of, like Lily brings up, her speech changed because of referring to Kello, for example.
Yeah.
Okay, if it's cool, let's go ahead and take a 5-minute break. We'll come back. We'll do the exciting conclusion. So be back at 4:50 if you can. Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
All right, we're back here. Okay, so T-Bone, your communicator is going off.
Great, I will open it.
So on the hollow, an image of Min on the bridge of the Legla ignites.
Ensign Bonville, report.
Both paths is clear. We're headed to the temple.
Sure.
The scene of the bridge of the Legla looks a little bit less than ideal. Damage control teams scramble around. A significant portion of the deck seems to be on fire. Min's appearance is uncharacteristically disheveled, and the hollow shakes as the Legla takes hits from the dreadnought. As you glance up into the sky to see sort of what things look like externally, you do see Alori's fighter like strafing in and out of fighters, and you do see FRDOS actually manages to lead several fighters on a pursuit course, flip the Alori's fighter around and take some shots back, wipes the whole squadron. So there's one less squadron of Sith fighters in the sky as Alori's fighter sort of jerks off to continue pursuing the other fighters. And then Min says,
We're taking heavy damage up here. We'll hold out as long as it takes, but we need you to finish this.
We will, Captain.
the ship rocks as it takes a major hit, and the hollow flickers for a minute. You hear like orders being yelled across the bridge, and yelling in the background as they make repairs to the Legla, and weapons are retargeted. And then Min gives you a salute, and the hollow collapses.
All right.
So, one thing I am curious about, not that we need to spend too much time on that, how are y'all who are on the peak of this mountain planning to get down? It's about 12 meters between you and the ground.
I don't know meters.
12 yards.
Tree jumping
36
onto the
feet.
tree. Yeah.
Climbing down, I guess.
Sure.
Is
I
the
think it's
platform
safe, so
accessible?
we'll just go climb down.
Yeah. Can you roll me a climbing near? It will be pretty easy. You're going down. You have plenty of time.
Excuse me, I took a bite the wrong time. I did a 12.
Sorry. 12. Yeah, so you climb down with relative ease. And then, Callo, are you rolling for the jump?
I was gonna do a force jump again, just to be super safe. All right, so let's see. Control and alter.
Alright, both of those meet, so you can take the 16 is like 10 above, so you can take an extra couple of dice. I'm not going to look it up. This is a pretty benign activity.
Okay.
Okay. You're able to jump down. We don't have to roll it all out.
Okay.
So, Nier...
Safe jump.
I think this is a great character moment, though, because Nier and Callo are at the top of this mountain, and Nier sort of like very cautiously, unflashily climbs down, very practical to get back to the ground. Callo like braces himself, takes this bounding leap, and lands next to Nier on the ground, sort of using the force to slow himself. Which I think is a good character moment for the two of them.
Calm but steady for the master, and then fast and furious for the Padawan.
So there is a long staircase before you leading up to the ruins. Are y'all headed in now, or do you have other things you want to do real quick?
I'm gonna close the eyes of the person I killed and say, "I'm sorry, you're one with the Force now."
All right. And anything else before we transition? All right, cool.
Do I know anything about this place?
It is a big set of ruins. There's one staircase, and there's a lot of chanting coming from it.
Sure. All right.
Wonderful.
I was going to say, if I can get a recording off this planet, that I would just want to send it to my mom's at the JNN and essentially just say, if I don't see you, I hope you think I've gotten enough views and done a good job.
So I'm going to say you can transmit that to the Legla and hope that they're able to relay it for you.
Okay. Just in case I don't come back.
Yeah, I was going to say, based on what happens, we'll find out whether or not that's successful.
Okay.
We can certainly transmit that message.
Do I hear that? Do I hear that, or was that private?
Are you trying to do it privately? I'm not going to roll this all out. Okay.
No,
So
I'm not.
You hear that.
I'm going to keep that in mind.
Okay. Cool.
As people are gathering for it, Callow's just going to look around the trees to see if he can find another raccoon. Just while people are getting together.
Unfortunately, there has been a loud battle here very recently,
Yeah.
full with the blast of a thermal detonator destroying a platform. There are no raccoons here. I'm not even going to make you roll for that.
Well,
they're risky,
raccoons
but they're
don't
not
exist.
stupid.
Of course there aren't any.
All right. So there's a long staircase up to the temple from which you still hear persistent chanting. And as you draw close to the staircase, you can make out the words being chanted by a single raspy voice. And you hear Kintekasuska Sutta Chiwituskat Kintekasuska Sutta Chiwiksukat. You climb the long staircase and enter a sanctuary with a dark, smoke-filled scene before you.
Boy.
And
Before we enter, I would like to send a quick transmission to the Legla and say, we are safely at the sanctuary. We no longer need protection. Please escape if you can.
Got it. Sure. So that message is received. Min will send you a quick text communication back that says they need to hold to stop the Harrower from being able to fire on the temple in case things go wrong, but they're in a steady position, so she's not concerned right now. Yes, you enter a sanctuary with a dark, smoke-filled scene before you. Shagrian Man, who you can probably guess is Darth Deditus, it's probably a clever thing to believe, stands at the end of the chamber, arms raised, carrying the chant, smoke spilling from the bowl on the altar before him, filling the room. The other Sith line the sanctuary in a circle around the bowl, all entranced. Several seem to have fallen and may be dead.
I can't get up.
Yeah, indeed. It is only your group. It is only once your group has entered the sanctuary that the chanting halts. You can go ahead and throw your tokens down by the doorway, and I will get Alori and Zakan in there as well. I haven't transitioned my own view, which is quite clever. I prepared Alori and Zakan and forgot. All right. Sorry. So, it's only once your group has entered the sanctuary that his chanting halts. He takes a deep breath and stares across the room at you. I see that Lilikoy was not capable of dealing with your little band of interlopers. It is unfortunate that I should have to pause my ritual, but I suppose I must dispatch you myself. A spout of hot smoke pours rapidly from the altar, and it seems to sort of overtake Deditus. And he speaks with a deeper voice, almost as if he echoes 2 or 3 times as he speaks. And he says, "It is kind of you to visit me here. I enjoyed your visit on Mortis, and I regret that I could not bring things to a more satisfying conclusion then. My sister's intervention was untimely, but she will not be able to save you here. Thralls that have withstood my entry, take arms and join in my victory. I have come to bring order to this galaxy, and that order will begin in this chamber." And 2 of the
He managed to get his father's permission to leave.
Yeah. So Cal is just gonna yell. Your father's gonna hear about this.
And then I will have Gom roll, I believe, dexterity for initiative. So.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay.
Oh.
It's actually supposed to be perception. We'll do dexterity this time just for fun. I always mix them up.
Oh.
My perception is way better.
Can we do that instead?
Wait.
I am actually. I have an in-story reason why it is dexterity, which is there's no matter of perception here. This is whoever can act physically the fastest. However, I will change one thing, which is how many dice have we rolled? 3 there. Who has the highest base dexterity skill? So who has more than 3D?
I have 40.
Okay, so Nier and Flash both have 40. One of them. Let's pick Flash because I think I had Nier roll for something else random earlier. So Flash, can you just roll 1d to add to that so that the character with the highest dexterity gets to roll the initiative?
This /R1D.
Mm-hmm. Deditus, unfortunately, will still win that initiative roll.
You have to do 1d6. But...
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Oh, right, thank you. That makes it somewhat
Yeah.
better.
It's 11.
That is better. Deditus still wins it, but it is better. Good job.
Is this where I can say I hate magic right now?
You may. You may say that. All right. I gotta get on the right layer. Eternally. That's basically it. So the fight begins. Let me see what I'm gonna do. We'll have the acolytes act first. That's more fun, right? So this guy right here is going to activate a force power called Combat Sense. Maybe. And he's actually going to use a force point to do that.
No.
And he's going to target all of you, which is moderate. That's like 10, 28. So we'll see if he can get a 28. I'm going to have to write things down here to even remember what I rolled, because I have to roll these twice. I don't have enough dice. So the difficulty was 28, right? Somebody with a better memory than I. All right, he meets that. That's all he's going to do right now. He's going to activate his lightsaber. You see the smoke sort of like pours out, and both of the acolytes inhale it, and their eyes begin to glow red. That is not an action, that's just flavor. And, sorry, I've got to make some marks here. I apologize that this is complicated for me. The other acolyte will act. He will ignite his dual-bladed lightsaber off to his side. Oh no, he has two lightsabers. He ignites both of his lightsabers, and he is going to cast a force power as his first action as well. He's going to expend his force point because, honestly, what else are they going to do? Yeah, he will take 2 actions. This is... Alright, he meets that check, and so he'll toss one of his lightsabers like forward in front of him. One would be clever to have created a token for this, and one was not. What we'll do, if I can be smart, is let's see if I can make a... Oh, I'll mark him with something like... So this one with... we'll just give it all the colors because then it will be super obvious. This is just his blade, and he's going to toss it over here, and it floats midair in front of you. And it will hang there, and then Deditus will act. Deditus is going to step off of the platform. 2, 3, 4, 5, I believe. And he's going to look directly at Jonathan and unleash Force Lightning. So, let's see how that goes. What is that? I am bad. I'm sorry. All right. So yeah, he'll unleash Force Lightning on Sebastian, and we have let's see. He meets that check. And Jonathan, you can roll strength to resist without any assistance from damage protection here.
1 second.
Sure.
So I have absorb, dissipate energy. Can I use that?
Does it say you can use it as a reaction? If it does, then yes. If not, then I think you have to have it up to begin with, but I can't remember which one it is.
This character may activate the power as a reaction skill to absorb the blaster bolt or force lightning. The roll replaces the range target number of the shooter. Or whatever.
Sure. Yeah. That's good. Are you taking it as a full reaction, or do you plan to react on your turn? You can still roll the full dice either way, but one will add an additional modifier to make the success of the force lightning, or like the absorb energy, greater. If you make a full reaction, you get his difficulty plus your what you roll as a reaction.
I guess I'll do the full reaction.
Okay. So it will be yeah, so you'll have to succeed at a moderate roll to have it up.
Yeah.
So yeah. I guess the full reaction doesn't actually matter. Ignore that because I didn't read how absorb dissipate energy works. It won't help you to make it full reaction, which is fine. If you succeed at casting the force power, you succeed in dissipating the energy. Then you can still act on your turn if you want to.
16.
Yeah, that should clear it. So Dedatus unleashes Force Lightning. Baz puts his hands up and sort of gathers it into a ball and lets it like fizzle out. And that is his turn for now. We move up to the top of the initiative order. I will don't let me forget. Lori and Zakan will act last, but please remind me. I will not.
Do we also still have Morai?
You do, yeah. Sorry for not. I need to pull that token in actually, because I didn't have the forethought. Morai is actually with T-Bone, so T-Bone will choose how she acts first. On his turn, I will put her behind T-Bone here. She doesn't actually take up a spot, so she doesn't block anyone from moving in that spot, but just so that we know who she's with, I have the token. Okay, so it will be Gom's turn to act. Sorry.
Okay, I'll take a shot at one of the person with the red dot or the
Sure.
Yeah, with the red dot.
Sure.
And I'll just blast and see if that does anything, although I'm not super optimistic.
Great. They did use a force point. They are going to take an additional action to react. So that they'll still have their second action. And not much mistaken. Sorry, I've got to look something up real quick. Oh yeah, they get a +2 at this point. So they're going to try to dodge your shot. And these two as well. Yeah. I have a lot of things happening right now. I'm sorry. Yeah, so you take a shot at them. They duck out of the way. The blaster bolt just like careens to the back of the temple. And it is Flash's turn. How many actions are you declaring, Flash?
I'm just gonna try shooting them too.
Okay. I have I now have a fixed combat difficulty for them because that will stand the rest of the time. So
Okay, I'm gonna shoot the one that tried to use Force Light.
Oh, you're gonna shoot at Dedatus?
Sorry, no, I'll shoot the same one that Gom shot.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. That's easier.
Sure.
Okay. Alright, so I roll blaster. Okay.
Oof. Alright, roll damage. Okay. So, that acolyte falls to the ground, wounded. But they're still in the fight. Alright, and then Callow, how many actions are you declaring?
I'm gonna do one. So there's like a lightsaber. The one in front of me is just a lightsaber just floating in midair, right?
Yeah.
Or okay. I'm gonna attack the lightsaber with my lightsaber.
Okay, sure. What are you trying to hit on the lightsaber?
I guess I'm trying to hit the the handle, so like break or disable it.
Okay. So that is a called shot. So it will be the base difficulty of your lightsaber plus 4d.
Oh.
So
okay.
That is difficult, right?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I have the number to hit then.
All right, let's see what happens. 27.
Alright, so you take a swipe at it, the blade sort of bobs down, and your blade careens with the blade of the saber instead, crackles, and does not manage to hit. Okay, and then, Sebastian, how many actions are you declaring? Though, you've already taken one as a reaction, so you will have a 1d penalty, even if you only take one action.
Okay. I'm going to take 2 actions and use a force point.
Sure. So a 2d penalty on both actions, but you can take the first one, and then after the 2d penalty, you double the number of dice you roll.
Yeah. So I'm going to attempt to dispel the sun's influence on Dedicus.
Okay, so you'll have to approach him, right? It's a touch ability, I think.
Oh.
But you're within move range, so you can do that. Just make the movement.
Oh, yeah, it is touch. Oh. Yeah, and I'll touch him.
Okay. What's the control difficulty on that?
You said easy for one target, +2 for each additional target.
Okay, sure. So whatever your control is, -2 times 2. Not at all confusing. I think...
16.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so you're able to accomplish that. So Deditus's eyes were kind of glowing red, and there's a flash of like change on his face. He coughs some green smoke, and suddenly his head seems to clear. However, as you might have realized, he's not just attacking you because of that. So that probably is not going to change the status of the battle, but it does change a particular effect that was affecting him. So you still have another action, but that will come around whenever you we return to you in the initiative order. So Nier, it is your turn. How many actions are you declaring?
1. Just to clarify, you said that this person was like something in him changed.
Yeah, so his eyes were glowing red, and he seemed to be, like you heard the sun's voice come from him. Whatever that was seems to be gone after Sebastian sort of reaches out and touches him and does something.
Does he seem changed as a person? Like, when that light changed, did he, like, sort of look scared or look as determined?
He still looks determined to continue this engagement, but he definitely doesn't seem to have the same strength he did moments before.
Right. Okay. Just want to I'm just discerning if he was a victim or not. Having calculated that, I'm going to go run towards him. With my full movement. Wait, movement's not an action, is it? It's separate.
You can move up to 5 for free, or you can move 10 for an action. But I think you can get to him in 5, because you can actually move through this spot that the saber is on. Oh, you're moving toward the acolyte. Yeah, you can definitely get there.
Yeah. I got to the other 5, and I'm going to swipe at him.
Okay.
Saber.
Sure. He's still high on his force point as well. He's not going to give up his second action.
Sorry, what was that?
He still has his force point as well, so he's going to attempt to parry. Sorry, I was kind of talking myself through it.
Yeah. No problem. Ooh! A crit on my wild eye. Rolling really good. Ooh. 40. I rolled quick sometimes.
That's wild. All right, roll damage.
Okay. That is 5. Okay, no crit this time. 15, 16, 17, plus 4, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21.
All right. Yeah, he falls on the ground, sort of scuttling backwards, and appears to be in rough shape.
Great.
So then, T-Bone, it is your turn. First thing is Morai gets allocated, so you can choose how Morai acts this turn.
I'm going to send Morai to Baz.
Okay. So Morai will Guardian of Mortis and fly to Baz. And then
Great.
T-Bone, how many actions are you declaring?
Just one. I'm going to shoot the Acolyte with the red dot.
Sure.
Great. So, a crit, a 20 with a crit.
There's something I don't know how to
22.
resolve, and I'm gonna make it up. Okay, so you take the shot at him. He rolls to the side, and the blaster bolt just barely misses him. But quite a good shot. Not T-Bone's fault at all, but he was just a little bit quicker on the uptake. All right.
And don't forget Alori and... Yeah.
Thank you. Yes. So Alori is going to run up here, and they're simply going to take a stab at Deditus. So... Deditus will make an attempt to defend. All right, so Alori is going to step up, sort of thrust their staff forward. Deditus, in response, is going to pull up his lightsaber. It's like saber against saber again as the top blade of Alori's spear jabs in, and Alori sort of holds it there, against Deditus's red lightsaber, which he holds back the blade with. And then it will be Zakan's turn to act. Zakan recognizes what he thinks is an opportunity to take out the acolyte that Nier is fighting, so he is going to take a shot there, without moving at all. That acolyte is going to try to dodge. Yeah, so Zakan takes a shot at the acolyte next to Nier. He does a similar thing to T-Bone and sort of rolls to the side to miss the shot. Their second actions have all been expended on making 2 reactions. So I think the only person left to act is Sebastian, who still has a second action. Is that correct? Or am I missing someone who declared a second action they have not yet used? Okay, cool. Just Sebastian. So back to you, Sebastian. What was your second action here?
I'm going to put up my Baka Uni hand.
Sure.
And just a reminder, it's moderate for control, easy for sense.
Okay. I will set those difficulties behind my screen here. And you're rolling at a 1d penalty doubled after that, right?
A 2d penalty, then doubled.
Okay, cool. So...
$29. That's
control.
29 for control.
Okay.
And 15 for sense.
All right. It does not succeed. It is, you said difficult for sense, right?
It's easy for sense.
Oh, somehow I misheard or something. All right, you succeed. Sorry. I did not
Cool.
mean to be rude. That's why I was like, I'm going to double check that. That seems like a high number that I wrote down right there. So yeah, Bakuni's hand is activated. And we are back at the top of the initiative order, which I believe is the Red Acolyte. And he is going to pull out his lightsaber. What? Sorry, did I miss something?
No, nothing.
Oh, okay.
I'm just yawning a lot.
Fair enough. It's totally reasonable. He's going to pull out his lightsaber and take a slash at Alori. So yeah, I've got these ones. 10. Alright, Alori is going to attempt to defend. The defense does not succeed. It's very bizarre to play against a game against yourself.
Stop hitting yourself.
Stop hitting yourself.
All right, so the acolyte on the ground, while still on the ground, pulls his saber back to him, ignites it, and sort of rolls over wildly, takes a thrust at Alori. Alori moves to parry with their lightsaber staff, but they react a little bit too slowly because they were engaged with Deditus on the end of the blade. They miss the parry. The acolyte slashes and manages to slash like clean through one of their legs. They fall over, mortally wounded, and yeah, they are on the ground.
Hand off.
All right, then it is the other acolyte's turn. Who is going to take a jab at Callow with the saber that is up front. So, are you going to attempt to parry Callow?
Yeah, can I use lightsaber parry?
Yeah.
So do I do that at 1-1d full?
Are you going to do a full reaction? Because this is the beginning of a new turn. So are you going to do a full reaction or a partial reaction?
I actually don't know the difference.
If you make a full reaction, it is what you roll plus the base difficulty of the task. If you make a partial reaction, it's just what you roll against what he rolled. But you can act again on the turn if you don't make a full reaction, if you make a partial reaction.
Oh, I'll do a partial.
Okay. All right, you do manage to succeed in blocking the attack. So the lightsaber slashes forward at you. Callow picks his lightsaber up to parry. And that is that. And then Deditus will act. And Deditus is actually going to take a slash at Baz with his lightsaber. So, yeah. Are you going to parry, Jonathan?
Yeah.
Okay. So you can roll the appropriate... I forget how that works with lightsaber combat up, but just do it. I trust you.
Cool.
Or with Bakuni's hand up.
$43.
All right. You succeed in the parry. So Deditus's blade comes down. Jonathan brings his... Baz brings his hands up. block the blade with the sort of like force power. You can describe what that looks like if you want to, Baz. I don't know if you've blocked a lightsaber yet, so that might be a unique description.
I don't think so. I imagine it's like the shields in Doom, where there's just this like blue light on my arms as I push it out of the way.
Got it. Very cool. And then we are back at the top of your initiative. So Gom, it's your turn to act.
All right, I will take a shot at the red acolyte.
Sure.
Let's see.
Okay. All right, that shot hits. Roll for damage.
Cool.
All right. It hits, but the acolyte on the ground seems to have like an unhuman like quality to him, and in this case he like grunts, and it does not seem to accomplish very much.
Wow.
Dang.
Did I do that roll right? Let me ask myself. No. So sorry to retcon myself. I forgot that he was wounded, so that's my bad, and I rolled the wrong thing. So you do manage to, actually, because he's wounded on the ground, he seems to fall unconscious, and his hood sort of slides off his head. You notice the like glowing in his eyes leaves, and he's like incapacitated there on the floor. So I keep clicking the wrong thing, but yeah. Just did it 3 times in a row. Perfect. All right, and then Flash, it is your turn. How many actions are you declaring?
I'm going to do one again.
Sure.
And I'm going to shoot the acolyte with the purple dot.
Sure.
Which is on the ground too, right? Wounded.
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure they stay dead.
All right, that hits. Roll damage. Okay, and that one falls incapacitated as well. So only Deditus remains. Right.
Do their lightsabers? Does that lightsaber
the
just fall
lightsaber
there?
like clatters to the ground, deactivated. So put an X on it as well. Okay, and then it is Callow's turn. How many actions are you declaring, Callow?
Just one?
Sure.
Let's see. Can I make it 1, 2? Can I step through a body, or do I have to go around it?
You can step over either corpse.
Okay.
I think my AirPods died. I'm going to see if I can resuscitate them so that the stream... Okay, I'm good, yeah.
Okay, I will attack with my lightsaber.
Sure. Yeah, he didn't lightsaber parry yet this turn.
Ooh, got a crit.
Okay, you can go ahead and roll again then.
Oh boy.
Okay, 33.
All right, you hit. Roll damage.
Oh.
So you pick up your lightsaber, you slam it against Deditus, again with that force befitting of a Sith Lord. And Deditus raises his saber up, but at this point he's become surrounded, and he seems to hesitate, trying to decide which angle he needs to deflect from, and instead misses the deflection, and you hit him, and what is the... Yeah, so you seem to, like, take a good slice at his hand. It strafes along his arm, and he seems to have a pretty messy wound there. So he's in rougher shape now. Baz, it is your turn. How many actions are you declaring? And you have Morai, so Morai gets allocated first. Sorry.
Okay. I'm gonna send Morai over to Callow. I guess.
Sure.
And then I'm going to attempt to knock out Dedatus.
All right.
So that involves a called shot to the head.
Yeah, I believe so.
Which is a plus 1d difficulty modifier.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what Dedatus's parry roll actually was. We're going to need to just roll it again. Okay.
$27.
All right. That hits. So you can call exactly what happens here. I think that's a knockout punch, so it's a special thing, but you can describe it.
Well, I still roll for damage.
Oh, yeah. That makes more sense.
He only gets knocked out if he suffers 2 wound levels.
Oh, okay. Cool. Go for it.
$29.
That's definitely 2 wound levels. It doesn't matter that I've lost my combat sheet. So
okay.
He gets knocked out. You can call that.
Cool.
Just imagine that gif of 80 Bryant again. My 5,000 papers on this tiny little baby desk they set up for me here. All right, so what happens, Baz? You tell me.
So I kind of just, I guess, bring my elbow up against his head and smash him across the head, and then he falls over and knocked out.
Yeah. Okay. So, Dedatus falls to the ground, and he hits the floor with a thud that seems a bit too quiet for a man who was able to disturb this much of the galaxy. You collect yourself, and the smoke seems to begin to dissipate. Whatever dark magic Dedatus was able to summon here, it doesn't seem to be able to continue without him.
No longer stinky.
Alori is unconscious, mortally wounded on the floor. The rest of you are standing in the chamber. So what happens?
To check on Alori.
Yeah. They are missing a leg. And not in anywhere near stable condition. You suspect if they're not treated quickly, they will die.
I'm going to call Baz over.
I go over.
I can.
Well, I'm already right next.
The accelerated healing.
I'm already right next to her. Or we can do accelerated healing.
Sure. How does accelerated healing work? I'm not sure I know that one off the top of my head.
Oh, me? Sorry.
What?
Definitely.
Oh, it's a control power. Got it.
It is, yes, control. There's a difficulty level. And it takes 1 minute to do. And a Jedi who uses this power successfully may take 2 natural healing rolls per day, regardless of the severity of the injury. The Jedi gets a +2 modifier to both strength rolls to heal.
So that power targets the caster, right?
It doesn't specify.
I think it's for the caster. There's a separate one to heal someone.
Oh, is there? Okay.
Yeah. I think it's called.
Oh, accelerate another's healing is a control and
Yeah.
alter power.
Yeah.
What I will say, though, is because Nier is familiar with the aspect of healing, if they're willing to assist whoever makes the healing roll by participating in the act, they can add an additional die to the healing roll made. So I'll let that power come in handy, but in kind of a different way. Is that all right? Seem fair?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. However, this is a mortally wounded character, and any operation is tenuous at best.
I'm gonna offer Alori a beef jerky out of my pocket.
They are not conscious, so...
Okay, never mind.
I'm sure they'd be interested in the pocket jerky, were they able to be, but in the absence of that... I have my sheet.
So is Baz making that roll?
Gom, I think you have good healing. I can just give you the med pack.
Is the healing like based on first aid, right? The medicine?
I have 5D.
Oh,
I could do that.
Oh, okay. It was T-Bone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm in.
So, it will roll
All right.
6D, but this is a one-time check. If it does not succeed, Alori perishes.
We've been here before.
Yeah, so...
Oh, and then I need to add...
Another.
24.
Alright. So, Alori is stabilized. They will be unconscious for a little while, but they will make a recovery. They're going to need to get a mechanical limb of some sort. Because they are at a disadvantage now. The leg is not coming back. Yeah. So you have managed to stabilize them. So,
I go over to the Sith Lord and shoot him with the stun gun just to make sure he just
I really was kind of hoping you weren't saying stun gun, and then you said stun gun. Yeah, sure. Go for it.
Extra stun.
You want me to actually roll for that, or because it's like point blank?
Roll damage.
He's unconscious.
I mean, he's already unconscious. I'm like trying to kill him and make sure he doesn't get back up. I mean, I'll roll the damage, but I don't want to.
Is there? Can you kill someone with a stun gun?
I don't think you can because it says stun damage, so I don't think you can go beyond mortal.
It is non-lethal damage.
Okay.
But if you do very little stun damage...
Oh, look, it did nothing!
Like if you roll 0d6...
Yeah.
Wait, that's 0?
Oh, gotcha.
No, it's fine. It's just because it's the way that it runs. It's not... Yeah, I'll just do it again. It's the last laugh. It's making fun of me for not doing any damage to any Sith Lords.
Oh, no. You don't have any dies of damage? Okay, there we go.
Alright, cool. So yeah, the stun blast hits him and he is knocked out. So T-Bone, at this moment, your comm link goes off again.
Mm-hmm.
And big surprise, it is the bridge of the Legla. You expected a different call. I don't know, a telemarketer or something. The screen flickers to life with an image of the Legla's bridge. It's still in rough shape, but it doesn't seem to be shaking under the pressure of fire anymore.
The Dreadnought is recalling its fighters. It is withdrawing. Did you defeat Deditus?
We did. Just now. He's
I see.
stunned and unconscious. We could use transport.
Absolutely. Ensign Bonville, Captain Sokola, Gom, Master Jedi, good job down there. I shudder to think what would have become of all this if Deditus could have finished what he started. We can send one of the spy ships to pick you up.
Great.
So one of the spy ships comes, it picks you all up. Back aboard the Legla, you're greeted at the airlock by Min and the other officers of the crew of the Legla. Let me slide you back to the Legla here.
I'm going to give her a hug because it feels like that's what we're doing now.
Apparently we are giving hugs.
I'm going to have some fun. Maybe.
I think Min would probably start to have the realization of the precedent this is setting, but
just for fun, I want to reveal all of the crew of the Legla.
Nice.
So yeah, okay. Actually, might be a little bit smart and no. There we go. Cool. I guess I can move Potty over a little bit. That's not. I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this. Sorry. The crew applauds as you board, glowing with relief and pride.
welcome back. I am certainly glad that no one has died. It was a difficult fight, but wonderful to see that for the most part we're all here, maybe a few pieces missing.
Thank you, Captain. Is it dinner time yet?
I've already asked Chef Becca to prepare a wonderful feast for our success here, once we get into a more stable position and sort of recoup everything.
Oops.
So we should probably get Alori to like the med bay pronto.
Mm-hmm.
So we go do that, I guess.
Cool.
Um,
I'm assuming I'm carrying him.
yeah.
Yeah. Nin is going to continue sort of chatting about what next steps are. You guys can sort of proceed. She's going to say, now that this is over, we'd like to take the Legla to Muriel. I've been in touch with an old friend in the Muriel Resistance, and she believes that with the help of the Legla, you might be able to liberate Muriel while the Sith fleet is occupied in its core world assault. Myself and others, we've spent some of our life up until now, within the war, far from the war in the case of Lori, doing research in the Outer Rim and becoming favored by Mortis. We suspect the Legla would do little good in joining the fight in the core, as we would arrive too late and bring a ship indistinguishable from that of the enemy. Hopefully you don't mind. This is where the Legla's next journey will be. This operation is probably the most impactful thing we can do at this point, but you should not feel obligated to join us. If you would rather return to the core, one of the spy ships can take you back. We would, however, be grateful for any of you continuing to join us on its next adventure.
This is something that Min and Alori discussed sort of in the planning phase for this mission, while the rest of you were doing things like parlaying with Sith and letting lightsabers explode on the floor of your bedroom. It's a plan they had together. And yeah.
Callow's gonna find T-Bone's like, here's some more lightsabers for those Kyber bombs.
Oh, cool.
This is
Thanks.
This is sort of where the finale leaves us, and I want the chance for characters to give epilogue, or if there are things you want to do aboard the Legla right away. So we'll go around for that. I do have kind of a special request. My special request is I like the world that AMD and I created, and I would like to see some more adventures in it. I like the world that the characters that were brought into this world, and I'd like to see more adventures with them in it too. And to sort of honor that request, so this is a request, not a demand, I hope that we can do a short form epilogue. What is your character planning to do next? Not don't tell me the next 10 years of your character's life, because maybe we'll have an opportunity to live some of that at some point or something, if that's okay with all of you. I don't want to make demands, but it's a request. So, but this is an opportunity to say what their next thing is, what they want to do. So yeah, Anyone can start. If anyone, especially if there are things you still want to do aboard the Legla, like right now, last few minute things, we can start with those, and then sort of what the next thing your character's going to do are.
Callow's going to check on Max Coleman to see if he's awake yet. And
Are you gonna go poke the Sith Lord?
he's an apprentice. I'll let him know what happened and that he chose the wrong side.
Are you saying anything in particular to Max? Are you looking... Are you just saying, like, hey, you lost?
Yeah, kind of like in a childish, like, haha, you lost kind of way. Because he's a teenager and not the most emotionally developed.
I think Max would probably sulk a little bit. There's nowhere for Max to go. Not really any one-up Max can have while being imprisoned. He might try in true Sith fashion to do a little jab. Well, I may have lost the war. I've won the battle of style, kid.
It's like, yeah, you're right. Those are very nice shades.
Any other...
T-Bone's gonna go through... Yeah, T-Bone's gonna go through all the, like, loot and stuff that he had in his vest pockets. And, just, like, sort through what's singed and broken and what's not. I'm also gonna... This might be a little bit of a retcon, but I'm gonna assume that I took Callow's lightsaber that was broken, and that's what actually stopped the lightsaber. And so I now have, like, a very risky lightsaber, like, broken lightsaber, and a couple of other ones that are working, maybe. And just, you know, get a new vest. That's probably a little bit too small from, you know, whatever uniforms we have on board. Yeah, that's it. And I will enjoy our feast very much.
Sure.
I think Gom has been very excited by everything that she has witnessed and is looking forward to more of the same. But I think she's going to stop in Coruscant to where her moms are and the JNN is headquartered just to say hey. And that's the immediate next step.
Sure. So is Gom's goal to return with the spy ship to the core worlds?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
Sure. What are other folks doing? Are they going to stay on the Legla and go for the Battle of Miriel? Or I guess T-Bone and Flash probably don't have that much of a choice. Probably be a peculiar thing for them to not go with their captain. Though this mission is a little off books, so I'm going to say you could get away with slipping away to the core worlds instead. No one in Republic High Command agreed to this.
Yeah, I'll obviously be staying. Longer term, I guess I will. Next time I'm on leave, we'll buy a round of drinks for my brother and uncles and tell them all about how somebody attacked me with a lightsaber and it's fine. And how I'm friends with a raccoon person.
Maybe you'll find the parts to rebuild Domi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's definitely on the to-do list as well.
That is certainly, yeah.
What is next for Nier and Callow?
Well, in the immediate next step, I'm checking with Mog with the recordings of the last things we did, just to ensure that nothing, no secrets are.
Yep, as always, happy to have you look. We've struck up a good rapport here, I think.
Just checking. I trust your let's say your eyes and ears.
Yep.
But just checking. So I just sort of like look and like edit out any like pertinent details of like the Sith cult, like the name of them and then like location, but I can keep like vague details about it, like so that you still have some news to bring back. I'm not that mean.
Perfect.
My point of curiosity, I don't know why this is the first thing that I think of. I'm going to say, unless Gom disagrees with me, that she got a really heartbreaking shot of Sebastian closing the eyes of a Sith that died in his arms, and she plans to use that to elicit pathos. Is that all good, Gom? Does that sound right?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So my question is, do you approve that, Nier? I'm basically just stirring controversy. Okay. We'll see how Baz feels about that whenever it goes live to millions of viewers.
It didn't get him actually killing him, right? Just the closing of the eyes.
I don't know, Gom. What did you get?
All of it, or just you're in battle. How can you get that?
Yeah, I'd say I would have edited out the moment of death, probably. Just to keep the Jedi looking good. Because we are propaganda after all, so
Yes.
Can I ask a random question, which is, how have these little stories I've formulated done views-wise? Have I been very successful?
Yeah, I would say these stories have been incredibly successful. You're probably going to have a rougher time with this one because the core is about to be under attack, which means the news cycle is going to be crazy with Sith fleet over Coruscant tomorrow.
Gotcha.
But up until
videos
now,
are trending.
What was that?
Are there videos trending?
Yeah. Up until now, this has been the feel-good news that the Republic needed. Some wild adventures with the Jedi, though you are a little concerned that the news cycle may be overtaken by the story on the core worlds, and you wonder what the best angle to get control of the story back is. So maybe that influences Gom's next actions as well.
Yes.
I mean, Miriel is a story you could track. That one's going to be unique, but it might be that other people are interested in the core world. So it really depends on what she believes viewers want to see, what she thinks makes for the hottest news.
Yeah, that's tough.
Okay. And then after that, I sort of have a moment with my Padawan. After everything calms down, and I just look at him and just pat him for any injuries or parent mode and making sure that they're okay. And I just look at their collections of lightsabers quietly and just I'm trying not to encourage your collection.
He says, I gave 3 of them to T-Bone already to make his bombs.
How many did you have? Good God.
I had 5 total.
I think you gave 3 away.
So I have 2 Sith lightsabers.
Alright. Sure.
As long as you are careful. As long as you're careful and you know not to go too far with them.
Yeah.
And Callow and Nier, are they planning to go to Miriel, or do they want to return to the core?
I'm inclined to go back to the core to talk to the council. See what they need. And if we can figure out where they feel like they need our efforts. Sure. Is it in the core or is it out here?
Yeah, Miriel is a bit of a unique opportunity. The Legla is close to it, and they've been in contact with the Resistance. Because Miriel is controlled by the Sith at this point. So the Empire has control of the planet, and the Mirialan Resistance is rising up. Or has a plan to rise up, but they need assistance. So they've gotten in contact with Min and Olori, realizing that they're in the sector. So it is a unique opportunity, but you can definitely return to the core and be reassigned by the Jedi Council.
Can we ask the council? Or are they a bit busy?
You can certainly hail Tanir and see if he has the time to speak with you.
Yeah, maybe I can just do that instead of going all the way there.
Yeah.
So I will contact the council if I can.
All right. So you are able to get in touch with Tanir, and so your hollow will light up with Tanir. I assume it's just you and. Out of curiosity, do you have interest in joining this powwow, Sebastian? I assume if they're calling the Jedi Council, I'm not going to do it twice. So if you have questions for them.
Yeah, I'm definitely not quiet about it. Like I look at Baz and like make sure that he's involved.
He probably would not go to Muriel. He would probably return to the core and get very interested in like the deeper mysteries of the Force.
Sure.
Would you like to join the call with the council?
Oh, I guess I can join the call, sure.
So Tanir pops up in front of you and he says, Master Ziha, I wasn't expecting to hear from you so soon. How did things fare on Yavin?
Better than anticipated, to be honest. So I kind of like break down everything that happened and just say that it was successful. The ritual was stopped and then mention that what's happening on the planet and see where they might need us.
Sure.
During this talk,
Yeah,
sorry.
Go ahead.
During all the explanation, Callow is going to interject that they also saw a raccoon for the very first time, and it looks nothing like him.
I just pat his head.
So Tanir will say, very interesting. What became of Master Greer? He's going to sort of look around for Alori.
He's in the med bay. He got his leg chopped off.
But
he's
very
okay.
sorry to hear that. Though I'm glad he's still alive. It frightened me not to see them.
He just needs a new leg and he'll be up and running again.
I fear that if you return to the core, it is likely that you will not get back here in time for the assault on the core. It may be possible that the fleet will already have incurred the most wrath it can. If you think you have an opportunity to do some good on Mirial, you may be of more use to us there. However, I am happy to lead the decision up to you. Let the Force guide you.
You're right. We probably wouldn't be able to get there in time, so we might as well do some good here.
Sure.
May the Force be with you.
And with your spirit. Did you have any questions, Sebastian, before Tanir goes off?
No.
Okay, cool. So, I think, Flash, I think you're the only one I haven't asked where you're going, right?
I was gonna ask, like, lore, what is it? Because I'm a captain, I remember, in Spec Ops.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who do I report? I hope it's not General Garza.
I would say you have a separate chain of command because Grand Admiral Garza is in charge of the Navy, though you are attached to the Republic Navy right now. However, I would say that in the scope of your mission, you feel empowered to act autonomously and do what you think is best. Republic command is in disarray right now. You may not even be able to get your commanding officer.
Okay, so I'm gonna. I think I was gonna attach myself to the Jedi as sort of their Spec Ops liaison for a while, or just help in missions with them. And because I'm a captain, I was going to offer T-Bone if T-Bone wanted to join my Spec Ops division because I know T-Bone was very looked up to me, and I was very impressed by how they acted, especially with how somehow a Sith Lord stabs them and he doesn't take any damage. So,
indeed.
I will take you up on that as long as we are on a ship, often.
That is totally fair.
Great. So I think when you say you're attaching yourself to the Jedi, Flash, have you selected which Jedi? Because I believe that Lori, Nier, and Kaulo will be going to Miriel, and I believe Sebastian is headed back to the core.
I think to keep it going, I'll attach to Nier. If that's okay with you, Nier.
I actually might change my mind and go with Nier. Just because we have a good rapport, and I just gotta follow the stories.
Y'all are sending Sebastian back to the core on his own.
Just
Shutting him in the cargo bay and saying goodbye.
I think Sebastian will be okay without me. Something tells me.
We should send the war prisoners with him too.
Yeah.
We shouldn't keep them on the ship.
Well, Bats has been through a lot.
I'll
I
make sure
mean,
to get
not
that.
every day.
Yeah.
If
Morai
a Lori
will-
goes,
Go ahead, sorry.
if a Lori stays on the Legla, I would like to try to build him a leg.
I'm sure when they wake up, they will be very appreciative of that prospect.
Mm.
You can
I
invent
imagine
a
it'll
late
take
night
quite some time.
Morai will go with Baz.
Nice.
So Morai is sort of attached to Baz at this point, though who knows how the winds of fate change. And yeah, so I think that's everyone, right? Are there any final words before I end the stream? We can still chat a little bit after, if anybody wants to. Nobody will be obligated to stay, obviously, but any final words about the story, like what's happening next before I wrap it up on our final episode?
May the force be with us all.
Yeah.
The
I just
real
wanna-
fellowship was the friends we made along the way.
I want to say just to anyone who's still here watching, thank you so much for watching. I want to do like a quick round of thank yous very, very, very quickly because I don't want to drag this out for my players or for my audience any more than it already has been. DMing with AMD has been like an enormously fun experience. She added so much to the campaign that I couldn't have done on my own. Not just the art, but also a review of the story, the creation of characters. Basically, like, everything cool that happened because AMD made it. And I deeply appreciate it. Thank you to my players, both to them here, thank you directly, but also to the audience. I want to say thank you to my players because they were absolutely wonderful, put up with a lot of shit from me, and I mean, like, a lot of shit, and played very, like, politely and patiently, even with 5 other people, which is a little bit difficult, actually. So I want to just say like a huge appreciation to them. They brought so much flavor and interesting stuff to my world, and to my and AMD's world, and to their world as well, honestly, that would not have been there without them. They made it colorful and interesting, and they made the game fun to DM. So big thanks to them. If you're here and you don't follow me, you should consider it. There will probably be more tabletop role-playing stuff in the future. It might be different because, I don't know, I'm learning how I want to stream tabletop RPGs. If you're watching this on YouTube and you don't subscribe to me, I don't know, do it if you want to. I don't know, follow your heart. I love you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for hanging out. And I'll see you soon. Bye.